love about the Chick-fil-A nugget trays is that they're so easy for the holidays. They're warm and flavorful. It's always a crowd pleaser. When I put down a nugget tray, everyone is happy.
Hey, this is Brian, and the little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A nugget trays is the joy that it brings to me and everybody around me during the holidays. They're warm, juicy, and delicious.
Cater the holidays with Chick-fil-A today. Available on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
All 36-month lease, $650 acquisition fee must finance through Hyundai. Forte LXS PE 694,095, MSRP 21,610. Sportage R722,7239, MSRP 28,715. EVP 560, 3393, MSRP 50,200. Includes all rebates and incentives. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/2023 with approved credit dealer stock only. Got Jeff Allen here from Gossett Kia, South Mount Moriah. Hey, Jeff, you ready for the holidays with the season of giving back?
I'm ready to give out some great holiday gifts and save you some big bucks. Perfect for the holiday road trips. 41 MPG Highway in a new 2023 Kia Forte LXS $229 a month. $27.99 due at signing. Or a big family that needs more room? 2024 Kia Sportage LX with class-leading cargo room and rear seat leg room, $299 a month. $34.99 due at signing.
What about an EV?
2023 Kia EV6 Wind, 134 City, 101 Highway, MPGE, $379 a month. $49.99 due at signing. All 36-month lease.
Plus a free charger with your EV purchase and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
The way they live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah.
It's time to get up and get your day started.
Morant. Oh! A jawbreaker!
It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
They get up every morning from the alarm clocks, wanting to take the 8:15 into the city.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome in to Sports 56 Mornings on this Tuesday, November 28th, 2023. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Zach Boyd with you, broadcasting live and in color from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. Yes, sirree, Bob. The Overstock sale continues. Help them clear out their overstock inventory, up to 50% off on a lot of different items, including select patio sets, play gyms under $2,000, just in time for Christmas. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. And the first hour of the program is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware. 31 degrees, clear skies as you get your Tuesday going. We're looking at a high today of 48 with mostly sunny skies. Tonight, clear skies with a low of 33, and then more sunshine tomorrow. Few clouds, but a high of 58 degrees. Coming up on the program today, 7:25, Connor O'Gara joins us to talk some college football. Connor from Saturday Down South and Saturday Tradition. At 8:25, Jeff Crane, who's normally with us, he'll get the week off. Laird Veach, the big honcho, will be joining us, the athletics director at the University of Memphis. A lot to talk about with Laird, including where Memphis football will be going bowling, what he thought of Ryan Silverfield's season with the 9 wins and the 3 losses during the regular season. What about basketball and what they did in the Bahamas and how season ticket sales and games, individual game tickets are going right now as far as sales are concerned. But also about the news from last week with the Smith family, led by Fred Smith, and the $50 million donation, the matching amount that the University of Memphis has to come up with. We'll talk to Laird about all those things coming up at 8:25. At 9:05, it's our weekly Rhodes Athletics segment. We'll be joined by Rhodes men's basketball coach Zoe Goodson, and then we'll turn our attention to Memphis Tigers basketball with Memphis Tigers basketball beat writer from the Daily Memphian, Parth Upajai. He will join us in studio. We have Humdinger's Trivia. That'll come your way just after the top of the hour break to open up hour number 2, as it always does. Give you a chance to win a $25 gift card to Humdinger's Restaurant. We'll also give you the topic for tomorrow's 5 favorite things. We'll take your calls and your texts on the Sports 56 listener lines at 901-360-8255. Got some Memphis football transfer news to get into. We got some NBA from last night. We'll talk about the college football championship games coming up this week. More movement in college football coaching ranks, plus Memphis does not get in to the top 25 poll in men's basketball once again. All those topics coming up on this busy Tuesday edition of Sports 56 Mornings. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am. I'm okay.
Good. Good to hear that. Zach is all bundled up in the studio next to us. How are you, my friend?
Cold, but I'm good.
Yeah, it was quite cold today. I went a little bit light. I don't know why. I forgot to put something heavier on, so when I hit the outside, it was a little cold, a little jarring, but again, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Now, I get inside real quick and enjoy the heat of the indoors, but outside, that refreshing, cool, well, somewhat cold air, I'm not too... I don't have a problem with it. Let's just put it that way. I don't have a problem with that. All right, we got a lot to get into. Let's jump right into it. As I said, we will be joined at 7:25 by Connor O'Gara. Tonight is a big night. It is the college football playoff rankings, the second to last rankings. The one that really matters is next week. But will it be on Sunday? Will they announce on Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they'll give you exactly which 4 teams will be in the playoff. But will there be any movement tonight? We'll talk to Connor about all those things. Memphis, as you are probably quite aware of by now, did not make the Associated Press men's college basketball top 25 poll again. They finish, if you will, 26th again, 108 points, which put them 12 points behind number 25, Oklahoma. Thoughts?
I don't. It's these voters are being very weird this year. They're not, in this case, seemingly following normal voting behavior when it comes to polls. I thought for sure the win over Arkansas would get them into the top 25. But to have 5 teams come from behind and get in is weird to see that the team sitting at 26 one week has a good week. Again, you take a loss, and maybe I guess it was the margin or the way that loss happened to Villanova, but beat a ranked team in Arkansas, beat another quality program in Michigan, and to have 5 teams leap over the top of them is a little strange.
Yeah, last week they had a couple of teams leapfrog them. This week they had 5. It has to be what you just mentioned. It has to be that the voters looked at that first half of the game against Villanova and saw that the Tigers got throttled and just made up their mind there that, yeah, they may have a couple of really nice wins, but they're not top 25 caliber because the top 25 team wouldn't be getting blown out. Then they forget about the second half when Memphis goes on the big run. They make it respectable. Look, they got beat up. There's no question about it. But they have wins now over Missouri, on the road, over Michigan, and ranked Arkansas. Only the one loss to Villanova. To me, that's a top 25 team, but they come up short once again. Purdue is the new number 1 team after they won the Maui Classic. Arizona's 2. Marquette is 3. Defending champion UConn is 4, and they look to be really tough again. Kansas is 5. Houston is number 6. And then other teams of note, schools of note, including SEC schools like Tennessee, which comes in at number 10, Kentucky at number 12. You have Florida Atlantic from the American Conference at 13. After losing that game against Bryant, they've picked up some big wins, including a win over nationally ranked Texas A&M. And slaughtered Virginia Tech the other day. Texas A&M, speaking of them, the Aggies are 14th. Mississippi State is 21st, and Alabama is 23rd.
Yeah, and tonight in the inaugural ACC-SEC Challenge, you will get number 8 Miami against number 12 Kentucky, so a good matchup there. Get some other good matchups. Ole Miss, who, of course, the Tigers play on Saturday, they will be hosting NC State tonight in that ACC-SEC Challenge. So some other pretty good matchups that they're going to have in that one. But Miami-Kentucky, certainly the highlight of that tonight.
Yeah, that'll be a big challenge for Ole Miss. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know everything about NC State, but they have not played a real rugged schedule up to this point. This will be a good challenge for them and a good game really to play before Memphis comes to town on Saturday. The Tigers really, with the week off, basically, they're practicing. Don't get me wrong. They're back from the Bahamas and getting ready for Ole Miss, but they will not have played a game since the championship game against Villanova, the loss, whereas Ole Miss will have that game under their belt against NC State. NBA light schedule last night. The Grizzlies are back in action tomorrow when they host the Utah Jazz. And, boy, yesterday was interesting. Reading a lot of stories, both national writers, local journalists about the Grizzlies, and coming to a point where, people are putting up options. This team can just basically mail it in for the rest of the year and look to the future, break things up, just kind of chalk it up to bad luck this year and move on. It's interesting that 16 games into the year, here is where we are with the Grizzlies. But last night, again, not a busy schedule, but an interesting few games, including the Lakers and the 76ers. The 76ers beat the Lakers by 44 points, 138 to 94. 138 to 94. It seems like the Sixers have been a lot better since they got rid of James Harden. Tyrese Maxey has been great. Joel Embiid, another triple-double. But the big story in this game, other than the winner and the loser, was LeBron James. LeBron James played 30 minutes in this game. They did have Anthony Davis, by the way. They had the whole kit and caboodle and got clobbered. But LeBron James, with his 30 minutes, surpasses Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to become the all-time NBA leader in minutes played. He's 38, doesn't seem to be slowing down. I'm not sure how much longer he's going to play, but it's not like this is some crippled LeBron James that's going out on the court. The guy is as physical and as much a leader as he's always been with that Lakers team. Has his skills diminished? I don't see it. Maybe a tad. He's a phenomenal athlete, a phenomenal player. And again, last night surpasses Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in minutes played.
Yeah, and takes the worst loss of his career.
Yes, he does. So he's got that going for himself, which is nice.
And did not record a rebound in the game.
Did not realize that. Wonder what that was about. That guy goes hard for the boards every time.
I'm trying to figure out. I saw how many it is. I think it's like the fourth time in his career that he has played and not recorded a rebound.
Wow.
Something like that.
That's startling. Still, I'm not taking back what I said. I mean, yeah, maybe slightly the skills have diminished. I don't see it, though. We don't see it through the human eye, but I'm sure it's there a little bit. But it's not like all of a sudden you watch this guy play and he's decrepit out there on the court. The dude's still amazing. So he went 30 minutes and got the record last night, but the Lakers take it on the chin. They lose by 44. So I was looking at the standings last night, and I haven't watched a ton of teams play this year. I'll be honest with you. I've watched games here and there. Obviously, I've watched the Grizzlies. No particular order. Here are my, as far as best stories so far this year, and I'm talking about teams. I'm not talking about individual stories. My best stories so far, again, in no particular order. The Orlando Magic, the Indiana Pacers, the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Houston Rockets. Would you guys add anybody? Would you get rid of anybody and then add somebody in for your five? Because I think they're all dynamite stories.
I think the Magic is, we've seen that Magic team kind of piece together all these good young pieces and wonder when it would all come together and they figure out and sort through all that. And certainly to see them, with the second best record or tied for second best record in the East, you knew the talent was there. Again, when you're picking in the top 2 or 3 in the draft seemingly every year for a while, you should be able to eventually get there. And they have been able to put it together. Another team like the Pistons, who have a lot of young pieces, they haven't been able to figure it out yet. Maybe they're just that year away, like they're the Magic kind of last year. But the Magic that's pretty incredible to see that turnaround. And now that they've kind of put things together with all of those young pieces.
Yeah, I was going to bring up the Pistons as just completely opposite story as opposed to the 5 I just talked about. The Pistons, which has assembled a lot of good young talent, seems like it has no direction. They're just assembling talent, where it seemed like Orlando had a game plan, and it's finally come to fruition. led by Paolo Banchero, led by the Wagners. They got a lot of talent on that team. I'm surprised they're this good. Will they be able to sustaining power throughout the season? I'm not sure. But I think they're really the best story. But, again, the Thunder, and we'll see now with the whole Josh Giddey thing, if that derails them a bit. The Timberwolves. Remember when the Rudy Gobert trade happened and people laughed at it and they weren't really good? All of a sudden now they're really, really good. Now you have the Anthony Edwards, next step to stardom. You have Karl Anthony Towns, but you've had him. Gobert, it's starting to pay off, and the other pieces that they have brought in, and the leadership of Mike Conley. You have the Rockets. Hey, let's give it up for the Rockets, at least until now. They are a surprisingly good story. They are competitive, and nobody thought that. And then the Pacers with Tyrese Halliburton taking that next step into superstardom. They have been a team that wasn't really bad last year, but it's a team that I think now you look and go, yeah, they can win on any given night. They have a great leader in Halliburton. So those are some of the early stories, I think, team-wise, in the NBA.
So, by the way, last night, another fantastic performance by the Clippers, and they lost to the Nuggets without Jokic, Murray, and Gordon, which is hard to do.
Yeah, I didn't stay up for that, so I didn't even know they lost. Jeez.
I did some more diving into some stats with the Grizzlies. Because I was wanting to, I talked yesterday, the wide open threes. And so I wanted to see exactly where they stood when it comes to wide open threes. And the way the NBA defines a wide open three is the closest defender is more than 6 feet away. So the Grizzlies, surprisingly enough, don't give up the most wide open threes. But they do give it the fourth most as far as percentage of three-point shots that are wide open. 24.7% of three-pointers by their opponents are wide open threes.
Wow.
So basically
1 in 4.
1 in 4 is a wide open three that their opponents are getting. Their opponents on those wide open threes shoot 42.7%. Again, Grizzlies' overall opponents are shooting over 40% from three-point range. But here's the interesting thing. So, on the offensive side of things, the Grizzlies also, weirdly enough, 24.7% of their three-pointers are wide open threes. So it's the percentage is exactly the same, defensively and offensively, of how many of the threes that they take or give up are wide open, 24.7%. The Grizzlies, when they get a wide open three, again, no defender within 6 feet, they shoot 33.6%, which is last in the NBA. So when they give up a three-pointer that is wide open, the opponent hits it at 42%, number one in the NBA. Like that's the best. The Grizzlies, or the worst for the Grizzlies, but that 42.7%, that's the best. The Grizzlies, when they get a wide open three, only make 33% of them, which is last in the NBA. Like that is an astonishing number, quite frankly. Wide open threes in the NBA, just for a team to shoot 33% on wide open threes in the NBA, that blew me away. Like I was like, wow, that is. I can't imagine a team being that bad on wide open threes.
Right, and most teams, most coaches, most players, right, they're all in unison that if you're open, you take the three. Because you are a professional, not only a professional basketball player, you're an NBA player. But there is a reason probably why the Grizzlies are so open on the perimeter, because they're clanking them. They're clanking the threes. So teams want them to shoot 40 times a game from three. Yes, the three-pointer's the great equalizer, but you have to make them. So I know how you're surprised, but after what you had said yesterday, I'm not surprised that those numbers were as ugly as you just said.
Portland shoots 33.9%. Everybody else is at least 35%. There is
these are on wide open shots.
This is wide open threes. Mm-hmm. Brooklyn shoots 47% on wide open threes.
Wonder how many.
Mavericks shoot 42%. Miami shoots 42%. Golden State shoots 41%. Pacers shoot over 40%. Wizards shoot over 40%. Timberwolves shoot over 40%. And then you go down, and there are the Grizzlies. DFL at 33.6%.
I wonder what Cam Thomas shoots on an open three when the Nets shoot 47% on open threes. And, of course, Steph Curry, what he shoots on open threes. Gosh, he makes a high percentage with hands in his face. But he's Steph Curry.
So the defense is awful in allowing 3-point wide open threes at nearly a 1-in-4 clip. But the offense, you're getting wide open threes. Like, that's a team that wants to shoot threes. They're getting 1 out of every 4 is wide open. You think that should be a good thing. But they can't make those wide open threes. It's one thing to get the wide open three. It's another thing to make the wide open three. But it's just, I don't, some of the stuff that they are doing. I understand losing games because of the lineups and the injuries and all of that. Some of the other stuff just it's inexcusable, quite frankly. A lot of the defensive stuff, especially, but even some of the offensive stuff, like, it doesn't make sense. Like, they should be way better than what they are.
Talk a little football before we take our first time out and bring in Connor O'Gara on the other side. Memphis football news, and get ready because this news is going to be around the country since the portal became a thing. You're going to hear it about every school in the country, in the nation. Tevin Carter announcing through the social media platforms that he's entering the transfer portal, the University of Memphis backup quarterback. And the thought is that Seth Hennigan, who has already indicated that he's coming back, although nothing's etched in stone until it's etched in stone, but you would have to think that Tevin Carter's announcement probably coincides with Hennigan returning for a final year. Tevin is moving on to greener pastures, and I think he's going to be a good quarterback somewhere given the opportunity. And Davian Carter, offensive lineman, who started to come into his own for the University of Memphis, he also is entering the transfer portal, according to reports. And Davian Carter is a big loss because anytime you lose an offensive lineman that has a chance to come back is a big loss for any team. So the Carters, both on the move. But again, this is just scratching the surface with player announcements that'll happen not only here with the University of Memphis, but around the country.
Yeah, we are about to enter the free agency session of college football. It's just, and for a guy like Tevin Carter, certainly looking at it and thinking, do I really want to sit for another year? I don't blame him for saying, you know what, I don't want to sit here for another year and wait for that opportunity. I'd rather go somewhere else and try and get that opportunity to actually start playing.
I completely understand where he's coming from. He and his family talked it over. I wish this young man well. He's really a genuine kid. I like him a lot. Always a smile on his face, and I think he has a lot of talent. I think he's going to make a team, make a good quarterback for wherever he goes. I don't think there's any question. Some other college football notes. Rick Stockstill out at Middle Tennessee State. 18 seasons he was the head coach, and MTSU is moving on. That means Tommy West, who's part of that staff, former Memphis Tigers head coach, would presumably move on as well. Whoever the new coach will be will bring in his new staff. So Rick Stockstill out at MTSU. Also, Preston Stone is done for the season. The SMU quarterback got hurt in last week's win over Navy, will not be the quarterback for the championship game this weekend against Tulane. That's a big loss. He's a really good quarterback.
Yeah, that's a killer going into a championship game to lose your starting quarterback. That's going to make things difficult for SMU against a very good Tulane team to try and go into Tulane and win without him.
Dan Mullen announces that he's not pursuing the Syracuse job. So despite some rumors out there, it does not look like that's going to happen. And the Mike Elko deal revealed at Texas A&M, 6 years, $7 million per, with plenty of incentives for Mike Elko.
They got money.
And Ross Bjork,
and they're offering it up if he can do some good things.
Yep, and Ross Bjork saying that they will pay for his buyout, leaving Duke, whatever the amount that is. No problem, they'll pay for the buyout.
Folks, this year when it comes to jewelry for Christmas, you have a great, refreshing alternative. That's Genesis Diamonds. They give you so much more in quality, in selection, and in value. Right now, you can buy anything at Genesis and get 5 years, zero interest financing. That's right, 5 years, zero interest financing right now at Genesis Diamonds. So if you're thinking about that perfect piece of jewelry, maybe an engagement ring or any other kind of fine jewelry, right now is a great time to buy this holiday season at Genesis Diamonds with 5 years, zero interest financing. You can get that $3,000 diamond pendant and pay just $50 a month. That's how great this deal is. Again, no interest for 5 years. The selection, absolutely amazing when it comes to Genesis Diamonds, from the engagement rings and diamonds to all kinds of fine jewelry, including those pre-owned Rolex watches. And right now, again, 5 years, zero interest financing is available at Genesis Diamonds. Genesis Diamonds, located in the Poplar Commons Shopping Center. That's Poplar and Perkins Extended, right there in the middle of that shopping center. Get that holiday shopping done early. Go see them at Genesis Diamonds.
Connor O'Gara is next. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
There's an institution in East Memphis that I love talking about. It's the Spirit Shop at 4848 Poplar Avenue, right down the street from Clark Tower, and it looks like a log cabin. It's been around Memphis since 1969 with a family-owned, friendly, knowledgeable sales staff that is just a wonderful place to go. I love going in and talking wine or bourbons, and they've got such great selection. So if you've not visited the Spirit Shop in a while, it's been remodeled. You'll love what you see when you need spirits. Tell Eddie Wallow said hello.
Whether it's date night, a birthday, or just because, raise a steak in celebration at Ruth's Chris. Open in the Regalia Shopping Center at the corner of Poplar and Ridgeway. Treat yourself to one of our classic USDA prime beef steaks, seasoned and broiled to perfection. Then serve sizzling hot on one of Ruth's signature 500-degree plates. Visit Ruth'sChris.com to make a reservation. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, Memphis. This is how celebrating more is done.
My dad has a cold, but also has high blood pressure. That's why I got him Vicks DayQuil High Blood Pressure for max strength daytime relief. Unlike some ordinary cold medicines, it's specially formulated for people like my dad. DayQuil High Blood Pressure is sugar-free, alcohol-free, and decongestant-free.
Vicks DayQuil High Blood Pressure. The daytime, non-drowsy, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, cold, and flu for people with high blood pressure.
Like my dad.
Medicine. Use as directed.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Cyber Golden Gable deals are here at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 45% off and save an extra $100 on every $800 you spend on select major appliances. And there's more. Get the DeWalt 20-volt Max Drill Kit for $99. Was $159. Hurry, these savings won't last because Lowe's knows deals. Valid to 11/29 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Appliance savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for details.
Roofs, roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Memphis music legends, the Bar-Kays, will be at this year's AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and you'll want to be there too. The Bar-Kays will be performing the music that made Memphis at the President's Gala on December 28th at the Peabody, and at halftime of the 65th AutoZone Liberty Bowl game on December 29th.
Everybody say, so big up.
Get your tickets today by calling the AutoZone Liberty Bowl at 795-7700. The Tennessee Highway Safety Office reminds you that fans don't let fans drive drunk.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Watching traffic build southbound on Austin Peay Highway as you head towards the interstate. Watch for some road construction delays throughout the day as they move around some equipment over there on 55 at Crump. Again, this is a notification we got from TDOT telling us there could be some serious delays in that construction zone today on 55, anywhere between McLemore and South Parkway all the way up to Crump. Don't miss it this holiday season. Enchanted Garden of Lights at Rock City in Chattanooga. Log on to seerockcity.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Busy time for college football. Tonight, the college football playoff rankings, the second to last rankings. We got bowls and the announcement on Sunday coming up. Coaches coming and going, players coming and going. And here to talk about it all is Connor O'Gara.
It's time to talk some SEC and college football. Joining Greg and Eli is Connor O'Gara from SaturdayDownSouth.com and SaturdayTradition.com. Here's Connor O'Gara with Greg and Eli.
He joins us every other week to talk college football. He is Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South, Saturday Tradition. You can follow him on Twitter at CJ O'Gara. He joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, guys. Just very, very busy this time of year. There is a ton going on right now in the college football world, to say the least.
It is, it's bonkers right now. I wanted to get your thoughts before we talk about the SEC championship game and some of the other championship games this weekend. Your thoughts on Elko to A&M, Levy to Mississippi State.
I really like Elko, and I have for a while. So this is not going to be me ranting about how, A&M made this big splash to fire Jimbo Fisher, and they needed to make a big splash to replace him. Just got a guy that's going to win you football games. And Mike Elko, what he's done these last 2 years at Duke, having a better record at Duke than A&M has had in the 2 years without him, I think that just shows you that this guy gets it. And to me, that's the vibe that I've always got from him. I mean, he's been at 4 different Power 5 programs in the playoff era, and he's led all of them to a defense that finished in the top 4th in the country in scoring defense. He knows defense. He knows that locker room, and the contract is super friendly. You're not going to look at this contract and make fun of it like you did with Jimbo Fisher, which, look, you just don't have to have a contract like that in this day and age. So I like the move, even though, there was a lot of talk about Mark Stoops in the 3 hours that seemed like it was going to happen. I like Mike Elko and think he has the tools to succeed at a place like A&M. And as for Levy, I'm interested in to see how this plays out, because Levy is someone that I think I've suggested for head coaching jobs for the last 3 years, and he's worked with the likes of Lane Kiffin and Josh Heupel and Brent Venables. But working as a primary play caller, which he said he's going to do, I don't know that that's going to be that sustainable. I have my doubts about that. And for all those who say, Mississippi State's been there, done that with Mike Leach, Dan Mullen, those are two of the best to ever do it, in my opinion. So I don't know that that's going to be as sustainable, but I get why the move was made. I get the Oklahoma connection with Zach Selman. I think that, somebody that has experience in the state of Mississippi should benefit that program, and they should be able to get out of that hole that they're in right now.
On the Elko thing, do you think for Texas A&M, Elko is better than Stoops?
Yeah, that's the key caveat right there. Some people are looking at this and saying, well, is Mark Stoops a better coach than Mike Elko? Yeah, Mark Stoops is a more proven coach than Mike Elko. Nobody's denying that. But so much of this is about fit. So much of this is about being able to go into the state of Texas, wherein that state is going to get even more competitive with SEC recruiting, with Texas and Oklahoma coming into the conference. Mark Stoops has recruited a total of two high school players from the state of Texas during his 11 years at Kentucky, neither of which were blue-chip guys. That move, to me, I'm just sitting there going like, that guy never recruits the state of Texas. He gets these kids from Youngstown, Ohio, to play at Kentucky. How would that have made sense? So Elko, the 4 years that he spent there, I thought he was underrated while he was there. Like the 2021 season, they had the number 3 scoring defense in America. I mean, like, they were so unbelievably good on that side of the ball until he left, and they dealt with consistency issues. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's just about fit, and I think it's about getting that place, a very unique place College Station, Texas is, and I think Elko made more sense than Stoops.
We saw Bama cruising along until they got to Auburn, and then it took a miracle 4th and 31 to pull it out over Auburn to kind of keep their hopes alive. But they're going to have to beat Georgia to get a chance, to have a chance to get into the playoff. Number one, how do you see that game going on Saturday? And number two, is it a slam dunk if Alabama wins the SEC championship that they get in? We know that Georgia gets in, obviously, but does Alabama get in with a win? But how do you see that game?
Yeah, I see Georgia winning the game just because you can't bet against Georgia right now. They're too good. It's 29 straight. And even though this is the house of horrors for Kirby Smart, a game in Atlanta against Nick Saban, I still am like, you know what? What's going to get this team down? Because they do not flinch. And I know if you want to look at the Georgia Tech game and say, oh, well, it was a one-score game at the end, Georgia was sitting out guys. They dominated on the offensive line, and that still, to me, was a tricky game to be able to coach. So I wouldn't look too far into that. I think Georgia should have the matchups to be able to beat this game. I think they've been studying for Bama for a while now, and I think they're going to be prepared. But it'll be tight because Bama, like I said, just has been that resilient team that you just can never count out with how good they've been in the second half of these games. But look, if Bama wins this game, is it a slam dunk that they get in and Texas is left out? No. I think Bama should get in, and I think Bama would have a case unlike any other when it comes to head-to-head. A trump card is beating the two-time defending national champs who have won 29 straight games. Mm-hmm. Because I look at the head-to-head thing, and I'm like, that should always win out, except in a case like this. Except in a case like this where you can beat the two-time defending national champs at a neutral site.
Yeah, I mean, certainly I could understand the argument both ways because the Texas win was at Alabama certainly makes it stronger for them, but it was also, 10, 11 weeks ago. Like, things change over that time, and you could easily make the argument that if you're the committee and you put Alabama in, that we believe right now Alabama's better than what they were then and better than Texas is right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, let's call it what it is. Like, head-to-head should matter. It really should with teams that have the same number of losses. This should be a situation in which that should be taken into account. It has to be. But at the same time, you mean to tell me that beating all undefeated teams that's the same type of win? Like, so if Louisville beats Florida State, that type of win is the same as what Georgia or what Alabama could do to Georgia this weekend? No way. I mean, no way. Like, beating a team of this caliber, I cannot stress that enough, should matter. And to me, like, you're looking at an SEC championship with two teams with a combined one loss, and we're living in a world in which the SEC champion has played in a national championship game 16 of the last 17 years. That has to factor into this conversation. I know it's a year-to-year deal with the ranking, but how could you possibly eliminate that if you're the selection committee?
Yeah, you just told us that you feel Georgia is going to win the game, as do I. But again, let's take it one step further. We just talked about the possibility, what would happen if Alabama won and the whole deal with Texas. But how about Georgia? If they got beat, does Georgia, with one loss to Alabama in the championship game, have an argument to be in the playoff as well?
They have an argument, but they would need help. They really would. And it's because it's the most top-heavy field that we have had. This is the first time in the playoff era in which there have been 8 Power 5 teams with 0 or 1 loss. That is the most of any of the 10 years of this 4-team field. And Ohio State's the only one that we're kind of looking at going, yeah, they don't really have that path. I mean, I guess there's like one scenario in which Ohio State can get in, but they need a lot of help. No, it's just not going to. It's not going to be a situation like the last 2 years with Georgia, where you could lose this game in theory and still feel really good about your chances, because you have a Power 5 unbeaten in Florida State. Despite what Kirk Herbstreit keeps telling us on College Game Day, 13-0 Florida State is getting into the college football playoff if they are there. Michigan, I am not holding my breath on Michigan losing to Iowa unless that game is 3-0. And then you're looking at the Pac-12 championship as a play-in type game. So you look at all those things right there, and you're like, well, yeah. I mean, and if Texas wins, like a one-loss Texas team who beats Bama, and obviously Bama is would get in if they beat Georgia. So yeah, I mean, it is just so unbelievably top-heavy. And that is why nobody, in my opinion, should feel like they have a bid clinch to the college football playoff heading into this weekend.
So you believe, I think, like most, that if Georgia, if Florida State, Michigan all win, they're all in, and then it's just the winner of the Pac-12 championship game as the fourth team?
Yeah, I think so. And look, I think Oregon's resume is vastly overrated. I really do. I've been banging the drum. Great football team. Maybe they'll win a national championship. They could. But it's almost like everybody came away from that Washington game going, well, they're the better team, so we're just going to continue to give them the benefit of the doubt. They should not be the top-ranked one-loss team. That, to me, is an argument that falls flat. When you look and you see their best wins are against 4-loss teams. And to me, like, Texas and Bama have better wins than Oregon, but it's because of the eye test. Because, oh, well, you know what, that close loss that could have gone either way, a fourth down here, a fourth down there. And I get it, and they'll have a chance to avenge their only loss, whereas Georgia wouldn't get that benefit to be able to do that against Alabama and turn around and play another game against them. So that's what's probably going to benefit Oregon. But don't sleep on Washington, because Washington continues to find a way, and they're very reminiscent, in my opinion, of last year's TCU team.
So why would Ohio State not be in the mix? Their only loss in the Big House to Michigan in a close game down to the wire. They have a win at Notre Dame, crushed the Irish in South Bend. That's a 9-win team, and beat Penn State. Why is their resume come up
they
short?
Didn't crush the Irish, first of all. They won in the play in the final
yeah.
game.
All right, yeah.
They won. Yeah,
that's crushing.
I don't know why I was thinking they crushed them, but anyway, they won. They won in South Bend. They beat Penn State. Is their resume not better?
Better than what?
The Pac-12 team that we would
it won't be.
I'm not talking about an undefeated Washington. I'm talking about a one-loss Washington or a one-loss Oregon.
Better than a one-loss Washington, yes, but that's not really up for debate. Like, one-loss Washington, if they lose in the Pac-12 championship, they will not be in. Oregon, if either one of those teams wins, that they will have a better resume than Ohio State, because without that conference championship, the margin for error this year, guys, it is just slim to none. It's just not what last year was with Ohio State, where they had that path that was there. Mm-hmm. And so you look at the respect that's been given to the Pac-12, a deserved respect, by the way, for how good they were in non-conference play. And I think that's playing a big part of this. That's why Oregon was that top one-loss team. They've been the top one-loss team throughout this entire time. Maybe that changes tonight, but I still think Oregon's going to end up moving up, and Ohio State will be slightly behind them. And that'll tell you everything you need to know about that.
So we're saying the regular season game, Oregon-Washington, really meant nothing. That's what we're saying, right? That there's more importance in this one. If this one's an elimination game, then they both would split during the regular season. Why is this one got more? Because it's a conference championship game? Is that
conference championship?
And it's a neutral
conference
field.
Championship, neutral site. Yeah, those two things. And if you look at the mutual opponents between Washington and Oregon, Washington's been hanging on by a thread. The last 8 weeks, I think it is, 7 or 8 weeks, they haven't won a game by more than, 10 points? I mean, they have really been that down-to-the-wire team. That's why I compared them to last year's TCU team, whereas Oregon, all these mutual opponents, they've just been smashing them. So I think that would tip the scales, and that's why if Oregon were to win this game, as Vegas and many people have been anticipating for the last month and a half, that is why they would get the benefit of the doubt over Washington.
Thus the 9.5-point line that they're favored by, Oregon over Washington. But it's interesting because it's really coming down to a bunch of people in a room and their eye test. That's what it is. Now, I heard this discussion yesterday, and I'm going to ask you about it. Should it be the 4 most deserving teams via their resumes this year, or the 4 best teams or perceived best teams by the committee?
Deserving. It's always deserving. It has to be deserving.
I'm
Nobody
in
knows
agreement. Yeah, I'm in agreement, but they argued that. You probably heard that discussion, right, with Herb Street and all those guys?
I hate it. The argument that everybody knows who the best team is all the time. Okay, then go to Vegas. Go to Vegas and bet on every single game. Live on your yacht. Live and be a billionaire. If you know who the best teams are every single time, you have to go by the resume. You have to go by the resume, because that to me is what's the point of playing the game?
Exactly.
I don't want to hear Nick Saban get up there and tell me about how you'd be favored against this many teams that are in the college football playoff. Get out of here with that stuff. It's about your resume. It's about what you actually do during the course of the season playing football.
Yep, absolutely.
I know the committee says like their thing is to get the 4 best teams, but the only way to determine the 4 best teams is by the 4 teams that do it on the field.
Yes.
And therefore are the 4 most deserving teams. If not, then we're just say Georgia's in no matter what. Like Georgia's the best roster. They would be favored probably against anybody in the country. So therefore we should just say Georgia's in before the even season starts. Like you have to go based on what has happened during the year and what teams have earned those spots.
Yeah, there's no question. We're all in unison as far as that's concerned. All right, it's going to be a fun week. There's a lot going on. There's a lot more coaching news to be settled here before it's all said and done. We will talk to you in 2 weeks. We'll know everything that's going on and who will be in the playoff, and it's always a great read when you check out what Connor's writing about at Saturday Down South and Saturday Tradition. Follow him on Twitter at CJ O'Gara. And again, catch him 2 Tuesdays from now, talking with us here on Sports 56 Mornings. Connor, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Gentlemen, appreciate it.
Take care.
Guns, more guns. That's what you find when you go to Classic Arms. Classic Arms located at 1740 Germantown Parkway, right behind Corky's. You can also find them online, where you can shop 24/7 at classicarmsofmemphis.com. Home defense guns, hunting guns, old guns, new guns, whether you're buying, whether you're selling, whether you're trading, whatever it is that you want to do, the folks at Classic Arms, Jay and his gang over there will take care of you. They've got all the top brand names, guaranteed lowest price in town. They're the only gun importer here in the Mid-South. They do free gun inspections. They do free gun appraisals as well. All of this is at Classic Arms, again, 1740 Germantown Parkway. Every gun you can think of, they've got them for you. And again, you can shop online 24/7 from the comfort of your home to see exactly what they do have at classicarmsofmemphis.com. They are Classic Arms.
Talk some NFL when we return. The Bears get a win. Justin Fields leading the way. Does that mean the Bears will not go with a quarterback when it comes to the draft? We will discuss that when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Hey, everybody, that to-do list for the holidays? Well, you're going to want to write this down. Go to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch. A lot of these new Silverados have red tags, and Kevin and Jeff said they'll get you financing as low as $1.9 or $2,000 cash. You can get one of these new Equinoxes with financing as low as $1.9 or $1,000 cash, and your good credit deserves it. And look, I'm out here in Olive Branch, and All-Star has any new Chevy you want. Tahoes, Trailblazers, and a lot of families I know love these new Traverses with all the cargo space and third-row seating. And so can you. And do more together this holiday season. Military, teachers, college students, healthcare. You get $500 bonus. And if you want certified pre-owned Chevys or any pre-owned car, All-Star has a lot full. Silverados, Ram trucks. Here's a Nissan Rogue, Lexus, Honda, Suburbans, Jeeps. If it's not here, just ask Jeff and he'll find it for you. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah or Bartlett or even Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch, people. So find new roads to All-Star Chevy today or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Now, this is the weather Sunrise was made for. You can enjoy sunrise downtown on Jefferson or sunrise east on Poplar all year long. But there's something special about tucking into a hot, fresh, delicious breakfast when there's just a bit of cool in the air. It's true for lunch, too. There's nothing like a perfect burger when you've got your coat hanging on the back of your chair. You know the food at both Sunrise locations is made just for you when you order it. And now you can enjoy it while you're not being outside in the cold. Warm up with some Sunrise.
How long has it been since you heard the term being overstocked? Well, it's happened at Family Leisure. Yep. That means you get the savings, like select patio sets that are up to 50% off. If you need a play gym, you're in luck because they're also overstocked and start at under $2,000. Pool tables and game room items up to $700 off of in-stock items. Saunas, massage chairs, arcades, even theater seating. Special financing is available with free delivery. Family Leisure is extending sale pricing on all in-stock hot tubs and swim spas. And if you need supplies to close up your pool for the winter, Family Leisure has them up to 30% off. It's been a while since you've heard of an overstock sale, but Family Leisure is right in the middle of one. Huge deals and a huge overstocked inventory. That means great savings for you. It's happening now at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Coming up in hour number 2, we'll have Humdinger's Trivia to start the hour. Laird Veach will join us at 8:25, University of Memphis Athletics Director.
Couple of text messages here on the Sports 56 listener line. Somebody says if the SEC gets 2 teams in over 3 Power 5 unbeatens, it's a travesty. Well, that's not going to happen. I mean, the SEC is not getting 2 teams in unless there's some crazy stuff that happens, and you'd have to have like
Michigan lose to Iowa,
Louisville and Iowa win, like Oklahoma State, like these types of things. So I don't. That certainly is not happening. Another one says under no circumstance does Alabama get in over Texas. If both have 1 loss, Alabama's only chance is to get in over 1 loss Oregon.
See, I agree with that. I don't think in this scenario, with Texas winning the Big 12 championship, even Alabama knocking off the number 1 team, Georgia, which has not lost in 3 years, they lost head-to-head to Texas. They'd each have 1 loss. They'd each be their respective conference champions, and Texas beat them head-to-head. Texas has to get the call. I don't know what we're doing if Texas were to not get the call over Alabama as far as one of those playoff spots. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I think Texas would get it, although I could see the committee making the argument. One, like Connor said, they just beat the clear number 1 team and who's been the number 1 team for 3 years, and using the thing of we think right now this version of Alabama is just way better than what it was when they played Texas. I actually think the Auburn game kind of kills that argument for Alabama, though. If they had dominated Auburn, like they've been dominating opponents here recently, and they just rolled into this, then beat Georgia, I think it'd be a lot easier to make the argument that we just think Alabama now is way better than Alabama of week 2 when they lost to Texas. And if they played again, like we would believe that Alabama's just the better team. But having to get a 4th and goal from the 31 against Auburn doesn't help your case of saying that we're a way better team than we were when we played Texas way back when.
Yeah, that'll certainly be the argument from some on the committee. I would imagine that it would be. But again, you can't deny what happened actually on the playing field, and that's Texas beat Alabama. Even though it would be really strange to not have an SEC team in the playoff.
Yeah, again, I mean that they have completely dominated the postseason of college football for the whole playoff era. Before that, the BCS era. Like, this is without question the best conference in a. So again, you're in there and you're like, wait a second, we're going to leave that conference, the best conference, for the last whatever 20, 30 years. They've got a 1-loss conference champion. We're just going to leave them out. That's very hard. That's again the committee. I think that would be tough for them to do.
What about and I want to get to the NFL here in a second, but what about the discussion that there would be between Oregon, and we're already saying Oregon-Washington elimination game, but what about the argument Oregon versus Texas? Because obviously with Texas-Alabama, they played each other, so that one's pretty clear-cut in my opinion. But what about Texas and Oregon? Why wouldn't Texas have a legitimate gripe to be in as the Big 12 champion over the Pac-12 champion?
Because, well, one, I mean, the committee has already established that they believe Oregon is better than Texas.
Right now they have, yes.
Plus, they will pick up a way better win than Texas will pick up this weekend. So, there's no way that a win over Oklahoma State for Texas would trump a win by Oregon over Washington.
But again, I'm looking at total. I'm just making the point here for this discussion. You got to look at the total resume.
Oregon's only loss is a 3-point loss on the road at the number 4 team or number 3 team, whatever they are right now in the country.
And Texas lost at a neutral site to their rival Oklahoma in the Red River Shootout. So
to a team that didn't even make their conference championship game.
Yes, they didn't make their conference championship game. Right.
I mean,
But they only have one loss, right? Or do they have 2?
They've won.
Yeah.
But again, the Oregon loss is way better, and Texas, has the great win at Alabama. There's no doubt about that. That's better than any win Oregon has. But Oregon also has some good wins, and their loss is. Yeah, but probably of all of those teams, other than Ohio State, it's the best loss of the group.
Yeah, but people will argue, I'm telling you, between those closed doors, they'll argue that, maybe Washington was a little bit overrated. If Oregon goes in there and thumps them, maybe we gave too much credit to Washington, and they'll look back and go, Oklahoma against Washington, if we paired them together, we'd favor Oklahoma to beat Washington. Who knows what they will say behind closed doors. But, right now Oregon is in that better position than Texas is. But I think that would be really interesting. I would love to be a fly on the wall to listen to those conversations. What I like is the fact that we're actually going to have hard decisions that need to be made, because normally it works out. Once in a while there's an issue, but normally it works out. Now next year you start the 12-team playoff. That's not going to be a problem. But right now, this year, this scenario,
I don't think there is going to be any hard decisions, because I think it's going to be Georgia, Florida State, Michigan, and the Pac-12 winner. I think it's pretty set.
Well, if they all win, I
think they will.
If they all win. But again, I think if Oregon beats Washington, which again you just said they will, they're going to get in for the things that you just talked about.
I don't know that Oregon's going to beat Washington. I just think it's going to be those 3 in the Pac-12 winner. It doesn't matter who wins the Pac-12 game. I think it's Georgia, Florida State, Michigan will all win.
But that's my point. If Washington wins, they're undefeated. They're an undefeated Pac-12 team. If Oregon wins, that means they split 2 with Washington. They have 1 loss. Oregon has 1 loss. Texas, assuming they win, has 1 loss. Alabama, if they upset Georgia, they have 1 loss. Georgia has 1 loss. Ohio State has 1 loss. At least it's a discussion. That's all I'm saying. All right, NFL last night. The Bears beat the Vikings 12-10 as they improved to 4-8. The Vikings, bad loss for the Vikings. They dropped to 6-6 as Carlos Santos hits 4 field goals after missing one earlier in the game. The game-winning field goal with 10 seconds left. Justin Fields leads his team down the field into field goal range, and the Bears get the win. I don't know if one game is making the difference in anything, but in the decision-making by management for the Bears. But Justin Fields, last couple weeks, he's healthy, he's played better. Do you think Chicago is taking a quarterback in the draft?
I don't know, but I think they probably will.
Is it smart to take a quarterback? They are going to have more than likely the number 1 overall pick because they get Carolina's pick. Carolina is 1-10 right now. Arizona is 2-10. And Chicago has their own pick. Right now, they'd be picking 4th. They are 4-8, but they'd actually get the 4th pick over Washington and the Giants, who are also 4-8. So they're going to get 2 high picks, but more than likely the number 1. Do you take it on a Caleb Williams, a Drake May, or any of these other quarterbacks? Or do you roll the dice with Justin Fields, even though he's going to enter, his 4th year? Mm-hmm. You got to look at the contract, right? The next guy, he's be out of the rookie contract. Do you think you can have success with him? If you do, then you got to look at Marvin Harrison Jr., in my opinion, and look in a different direction. If not, you're going to start over again with another young quarterback. If you think those quarterbacks that are available are that much better than Justin Fields, I could see that. But if not, I don't think you go with the quarterback. You go with a big left tackle out there. You go with Marvin Harrison Jr., and then we'll see where that other pick is as well.
Yeah, I certainly could understand. I mean, if they do decide Justin Fields, but I would probably take quarterback if I was them, just because I don't want to have to pay Justin Fields in 2 years. I'd rather reset with a guy on a rookie contract.
Right.
But that's my theory on quarterback in the NFL. I think you should draft a new quarterback every 5 years anyway. But that's
like
just
getting
me.
a new car.
But certainly, if they do believe in Justin Fields, you can add two really good pieces around him.
Right.
And so, it's an interesting decision that they have to make and figure out. And I'm sure it will not be an easy one. And at least he's healthy now, and they got the rest of the year to try and figure that out of what exactly is. I mean, you watched that throw on that last drive last night. I mean, that's a cannon. Like, that was an absolute laser that he threw to DJ Moore. Like, you shows it. But then you got the two fumbles, and you wonder, can a guy running as much as him, how many injury issues is he going to continue to have? Can you take that, if you take that running element a little bit away, how much does that change what he is as a player? So there's a lot of things, and a lot of the guys that are coming out are kind of just Justin Fields. You're resetting with Justin Fields, only you hope that they're maybe a little bit better than him.
Yeah, and he doesn't have the weapons. Yeah, they went out and got DJ Moore, but they don't have a running game. They let Montgomery walk to Detroit, so he doesn't have all these weapons. I don't know necessarily if I'm going quarterback. I want to thank East Memphis Hardware, East Memphis Ace Hardware, for our first hour sponsorship.
That's right. East Memphis Ace Hardware, corner of White Station and Quince. Go by and see them for whatever it is you need to get done around the house. They've got your supplies. They've also got a helpful staff. They've got the Big Green Egg. Great gift ideas for the holiday season. You'll find them all at East Memphis Ace Hardware.
Hour 2 on the way. We'll open up with Humdinger's Trivia. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It doesn't matter if you're at the lake, if you're hunting, fishing, playing golf, or just playing around, Scooters Plus can hook you up with the mobility that you need. Scooters Plus has the largest vehicle and parts inventory in the Mid-South and the best service department. You can choose from ATVs, UTVs, golf carts, motorcycles, dirt bikes, trikes, scooters, and even electric bikes. Come in today to start or wrap up your holiday shopping with 25% down on Christmas layaways. Scooters Plus, 3425 Summer Avenue. Call Sam at 458-8843 or go online to scootersplus.us.
Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Fall is in the air, and so are Choate's Early Bird Specials. Right now, receive $1,000 off the purchase of a new Carrier gas furnace. Carrier furnaces come with some of the best warranties in the industry, and Choate's has been professionally installing them for over 60 years. As a Carrier factory authorized dealer, Choate's also offers competitive financing solutions for you and your family. If your heating system is in good shape, make sure you take advantage of Choate's Early Bird Tune-Up Special for $60. This tune-up is an in-depth 20-point inspection to make sure your furnace is ready for the winter season ahead. So call 347-8086 to schedule your Early Bird Special today. And turn to the experts with Choate's and let our family serve your family.
All 36-month lease, $650 acquisition fee must finance through Hyundai. Forte LXS PE 694,095, MSRP 21,610. Sportage R722,7239, MSRP 28,715. EVP 560, 3393, MSRP 50,200. Includes all rebates and incentives. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/2023 with approved credit dealer stock only. Got Jeff Allen here from Gossett Kia, South Mount Moriah. Hey, Jeff, you ready for the holidays with the season of giving back?
I'm ready to give out some great holiday gifts and save you some big bucks. Perfect for the holiday road trips, 41 MPG highway in a new 2023 Kia Forte LXS $229 a month, $27.99 due at signing. Or a big family that needs more room, 2024 Kia Sportage LX with class-leading cargo room and rear seat leg room, $299 a month, $34.99 due at signing.
What about an EV?
2023 Kia EV6 Wind, 134 City, 101 Highway, MPGE, $379 a month, $49.99 due at signing. All 36-month lease.
Plus a free charger with your EV purchase and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
They're taking care of beerness in Memphis, right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called Godhopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Join Jared, Dez, and your Memphis Grizzlies tomorrow at 7 p.m. when your Grizzlies host the Utah Jazz presented by Mata. Get hyped, get ready for a fierce showdown, and secure your tickets today by calling 901-888-HOOP or visiting Grizzlies.com.
Memphis music legends, the Bar-Kays, will be at this year's AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and you'll want to be there too. The Bar-Kays will be performing the music that made Memphis at the President's Gala on December 28th at the Peabody, and at halftime of the 65th AutoZone Liberty Bowl game on December 29th.
Everybody say, so big up.
Get your tickets today by calling the AutoZone Liberty Bowl at 795-7700. The Tennessee Highway Safety Office reminds you that fans don't let fans drive drunk.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. It remains pretty heavy over here on 40 westbound. Anywhere you're traveling between Germantown Parkway all the way up to Sycamore View Road from that earlier wreck that jammed it up pretty good before you get to that 240 flyover. It's heavy now on the Sam Cooper coming inbound. As you come off the interstate there onto Sam Cooper, is still busy, but it's moving up to South Haven on 55 going northbound. Weimer's Jewelry's gearing up for the holiday season. Go by and see them and shop local this year at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:06 the time. Hour number 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings. The Tuesday, November 28th, 2023 edition. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Zach Boyd. Thank you for joining us, folks. We're in the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure is where family and fun come together. Family Leisure is located at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. It has hit the freezing mark. It was below freezing a little bit earlier. 32 degrees right now. Sunshine. We're looking at a high today of 48. Clear skies tonight with a low of 33 degrees. The second hour of the program is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. I got a big announcement to give you as far as what James Gaddis Jewelers will be doing on Thursday. I'll do that a little bit later on in the hour. But right now, it's Tuesday. It's time for Humdinger's Trivia.
That's right. It's opportunity for somebody to win a $25 gift certificate to Humdingers over at Poplar and Massey and go enjoy some of that delicious food. Of course, being Tuesday, that means Taco Tuesday at Humdingers, where their chicken and fish tacos are just $2 each all day long. That's each and every Tuesday at Humdingers. On Fridays, they've got their special on the crispy fish and chips. Of course, anytime you can go over there and enjoy all that delicious food, like the great grilled fish options that they have with the great toppings and sides. they've got the chicken dishes, they've got salads, they've got sandwiches, so much stuff on the menu. And if you've got a holiday party maybe for the office that you want to get catered, they certainly could take care of that for you, and people are going to love it if you've got Humdinger's catering any event that you've got going on. Again, they're at Poplar and Massey, online, humdingersrestaurant.com, where you can check out the entire menu at Humdinger's. If you are the first person to answer today's trivia question correctly, well, then you'll get that $25 gift certificate, and you can answer via text. 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255, Sports 56 listener line. Text in those answers, and the first correct answer will get the $25 gift certificate to Humdinger's. And here is today's question. Since 2000, the Memphis Tigers and Ole Miss Rebels have met 13 times in basketball. The Tigers are 6-7 in those 13 meetings against Ole Miss since 2000. During that stretch, again, this is since 2000, which Tiger player has scored the most points in a Tiger win against Ole Miss? Since 2000, which Tiger player has scored the most points in a win against Ole Miss? 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255. Text in those answers, and the first correct answer will get the $25 gift certificate to Humdinger's.
Speaking of Memphis basketball, our buddy Kerry Miller, who joins us weekly during the Major League Baseball season, also writes for the Bleacher Report covering college basketball. And he has his early NCAA tournament projections. And, of course, Jerry Palm, who joins us every Wednesday, has his projections, and on and on. There's a lot of people, Joe Lenardi. So take it with a grain of salt this early in the year. But Kerry has the Memphis Tigers as a 9 seed, facing the 8th seed Iowa State in the first round in Indianapolis, Indiana. If the Tigers finish where they only gain a 9 seed, that's going to be extremely disappointing. That would mean that they would lose a lot of these big non-conference games. Yes, it's good enough to get in. You're going to have to do enough damage to get into the tournament. But to get a higher seed, you're going to have to win a bulk of those games. And I think they have a great opportunity to do so. That's why Penny put together the schedule he put together, knowing that you're not going to really have those opportunities in the American other than playing Florida Atlantic. Of course, one of those 2 games, you're going to play them at home. But that is not where you want to be. You do not want to be in that 8-9 game. You don't want to be a 10 seed. Hopefully for Memphis, with what they're doing this year with the team they've compiled, they are going to be a 7 seed or higher. And right now they're off to a really, really good start with already having wins over an SEC team, over a Big Ten team, 2 SEC teams, with Arkansas being a top 25 team when they beat them. So, yeah, right now that would be really disappointing if they were in the 8-9 game again.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the position they have stuck themselves in the last couple of years, and that's absolutely what you got to get. To me, you have to get in the top 6. Well, you'd love to be a top 4 seed. To be a top 4 seed, you're probably going to need to win just about every one of these non-conference games, and then you can't afford any losses in conference other than probably the trip to Florida Atlantic. But yeah, I mean, the 8-9 is very difficult. It's not an easy matchup to begin with, but then even if you do win that first matchup, getting the number 1 seed in the second round, that's what you absolutely want to avoid if at all possible.
Absolutely. We talked a lot in hour number 1 to open the show about the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are off today. We'll be back in action tomorrow against the Utah Jazz. We mentioned last night that the Lakers lost by 44 points to the 76ers, despite LeBron James becoming the all-time leader in minutes played in the history of the game, surpassing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Speaking of the Lakers and the Pacers, if you are scoring at home, have moved into the next round of the in-season tournament. They have clinched spots. Milwaukee, Houston, and Sacramento, if they win, I assume tonight, then they are into the next round. There are still a bunch of teams that are still alive, and there are 12 teams, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 teams that have been eliminated. Obviously, the Memphis Grizzlies have been eliminated, but a couple of surprises here. The Denver Nuggets, the defending champions, the Dallas Mavericks, they've been eliminated. Oklahoma City is having a great year so far, but they have lost in those in-season games. They have been eliminated as well. I'm sorry. I have no care in the world to follow or no reason to follow, not because the Grizzlies are out of it. I don't get it, this in-season deal. There is nothing on the line for these teams. The winners will get more money. They're already multimillionaires. They're going to get more money. And I guess money is always important to people. But if you put something on the line, like a spot in the play-in for the winner, then there's more intrigue with this in-season tournament. It needs not an overhaul, but it needs certainly some fine-tuning. There's also the issue about the point differential, which Jason Tatum took exception to that yesterday. That is something you don't want to get into, where teams are leaving in starters late in the game or shooting threes down the stretch when they should be dribbling it out, which could cause, who knows, a little bit of a fracas. You would have players that normally would not play those minutes, playing extra minutes because you need the point differential. That's just stupid. Right now, to me, I couldn't care less. They need to fix it. They need to put more incentive into it, and then maybe it'll excite me.
Again, I'm letting it play. I want to see the actual games in Vegas of the actual tournament, and see kind of what the reaction is to those. Again, and I don't know what the latest update is, but early on the television ratings were good for it versus the games from last year, those same windows. So whether that was because of increased fan interest because it's this in-season. But I wish they wouldn't call it the in-season tournament. I don't know why they don't just call it the NBA Cup tournament or something like that. I think in-season tournament turns a lot of people off because it's just such a generic, weird thing. Right. If you called it the NBA Cup tournament or NBA Cup playoffs or something, at least you get an idea of what it is. But just saying in-season tournament, I think is a little weird to call it just something so generic. But again, I don't have any problem with it. I think the league's kind of looking to see what fan reaction is and then what kind of tweaks you might need to make. The whole point differential thing certainly can cause some issues. Phoenix here was doing some things down the stretch to try and help their point differential. That I certainly don't think the league wants that type of situation where teams are shooting threes late and doing things in order to try and help that. How to do it as far as tiebreakers and all that are concerned when you're talking about 4 games deciding this. I don't know for sure exactly how you go about doing that without using point differential, but certainly I don't think the league wants that type of situation.
But are you excited? You look at the schedule and go, hey, man, must-watch television. I got to watch that Tuesday night game between Brooklyn and Indiana. It's a big, important game in the in-season tournament.
No, but I wouldn't care about that game if the tournament wasn't going on.
Exactly. That's my point.
The games in Vegas are the ones that are different, and I think they could be they'll be much more interesting than a regular season game normally. So,
right, but I think a regular season game with not a regular season game, but an in-season tournament game that's not just the games in Vegas would be a little bit more exciting if there was more on the line. Again, for teams that are going to be out of it, they're not going to be good. Now, more than likely, they're not going to win it, right? They're not going to get to Vegas. You could even have a situation where you have a winner come out of the East, a winner come out of the West, and both of those teams are playing. Well, you give each one of them a spot in the play-in. So you've gone through the rigors of playing in the in-season tournament. You go to Vegas. Now you're playing for whatever the prize is at the end, but you have earned your spot in that finals to get to a play-in position in the postseason. Therefore, you have all these teams at the beginning of the year that aren't that good now have this opportunity, if they go on a nice little run, to get there. More than likely, they're not going to. That's why they're bad. They're bad teams. Or they have unfortunate situations like the Grizzlies have. But at least it's extra incentive to do. Right now, it's who cares? The winner's going to get more money?
I would not put any sort of playoff spot on the line. I don't
play in. You wouldn't put a play in?
No, I don't.
Really? 20 teams?
One, it's the teams that are going to win this are going to be well ahead of the play in probably anyway.
No, I understand that,
or at least already in it. And
it's incentive.
And two, I'm not going to let 7 games decide a play in spot over the 82 game season.
Then why have it? It's just it's
well, for some guys the money does matter. Like there's guys at the bottom of these benches that don't make a whole lot of money. It does mean something to them, and all of these guys love money. So I guarantee you they do care about it.
We love money as well, but it's not enough for me to get excited about. That's just my point. College basketball note: we were talking about the poll in hour number 1 where Memphis came up short once again. Still scratching my head about that one. I'm not going to guess anymore that Memphis will make it into the top 25 because I'm wrong every time. But Connecticut, which is number 4, the defending national champions, Dan Hurley and his team set a Division I record. They got the huge game coming up against Kansas. When is that? Is that Friday or earlier this week?
I'm not sure.
Huge game, Connecticut and Kansas. Their last win was their record 24th straight non-conference victory by double digits. How about that? Not only are they winning those games, they're clobbering their opponent. 24 straight non-conference victories by double digits.
It's incredible. I mean, when you see the upsets and things that happen in non-conference play, to be that consistent and do what they have done that's pretty incredible.
I think it is as well. We talked some NFL earlier about the Bears and their win last night in Monday Night Football, or on Monday Night Football. Yesterday was the news of Frank Reich's firing with the Carolina Panthers. I didn't see this until this morning that they also let go assistants Josh McCown and Deuce Staley. So McCown, who coached the quarterback, Staley coached the running back, so really got rid of basically the entire offensive coaching staff. Chris Tabor made that decision. He's the interim head coach, as announced by Tepper, their owner. But I did not know this. Tepper wanted Bryce Young. Frank Reich wanted to draft C.J. Stroud.
Well, and certainly right now C.J. Stroud looks way better, but I don't think it's fair at all to assess Bryce Young at this point. Guy who's running for his life on every play and has basically nobody around him to help him in any way. Listen, David Tepper's reign so far as owner is not going real well in Carolina. It's been a rough go for him there, and he's probably way too involved in the football operations because he doesn't seem to have a whole lot of sense as far as that goes. He probably should stay out of the way and let football people make those decisions, but he wants to, I guess, be involved, and when you own the team, you have that right.
Yeah, and look, and I agree with you. I'm not ready to sit here and say that in their careers, when it's all said and done, that C.J. Stroud will absolutely have a better career than Bryce Young. I'm not giving up on Bryce Young at this point. He doesn't have the weapons and all that, but certainly Bryce Young's play, or lack thereof, along with everybody else in that offense, cost those guys their job. And if they had C.J. Stroud in there, who knows? Maybe they would have played better with C.J. Stroud throwing the ball the way he did. It's not like Houston has a ton of weapons, but they certainly have a lot more than what Carolina has. All right, we'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, Laird Veach will join us, University of Memphis AD. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Simple, smooth, and every sip is easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does with your favorite mixer. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff. Just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Roofs, roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Get the home field advantage every time with Fairfield by Marriott, the official hotel of the NCAA. Whether you're a student athlete working towards your championship dreams or your team's biggest fan, Fairfield by Marriott has everything you need to get ready for game day, from comfortable guest rooms to a complimentary hot breakfast. Visit fairfield.marriott.com to book your next game day stay. Fairfield by Marriott, part of the Marriott Bonvoy portfolio of hotels, an official hotel of the NCAA.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Memphis' oldest restaurant, Coletta's, was established in 1923 to give Memphians the best Italian food possible. And I'd say they got it right. They are the creators of the barbecue pizza. It was Elvis's favorite, and I know for a fact that a large will feed one person all weekend. If you need to feed several, though, Coletta's caters any event. Choose from homemade lasagna, ravioli, Alfredo, primavera, and so many other delicious items you can't help but enjoy. Impress employees or clients and treat them to Coletta's for lunch or dinner. Plan ahead and get your holiday party booked at Coletta's. Elvis's favorite place to go eat with his buddies at the South Parkway location, and Coletta's even has an Elvis room dedicated to him. Call Coletta's on South Parkway at 948-7652 or Appling Road at 383-1122. Coletta's. It was Elvis's favorite, and it should be yours too.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Still running a little bit slower than normal from our earlier wreck we had over here on 40 westbound, just past Sycamore View Road. Again, expect delays there between Germantown and Sycamore View Road for the next few minutes. An injury crash at New Brownsville Road at St. Elmo Avenue. A car hit a pole at Hester Road just east of Whitworth Road. Traffic's still a little bit crowded right now on 385 Billmore. Parkway as you get on that ramp there to 240. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry's gearing up for the holiday season. Shop local this year at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 8:27 the time on this very cold Tuesday morning. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Zach Boyd with you. Normally at this time, we're talking University of Memphis athletics with Jeff Crane, the deputy AD. We will definitely talk University of Memphis athletics, but now time to talk with the head honcho, the man himself. He is Laird Veach, the University of Memphis vice president and the director of intercollegiate athletics. You can follow Laird on Twitter at Laird Veach. He joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Thank you so much for joining us, Laird. Appreciate your time.
You bet. Happy to be with you guys.
All right, so here we are on Tuesday. The bowl selection announcements are Sunday, but a lot goes on in between time that we are not privy to that information. So where are you as far as that is concerned? Because not only are you dealing with the American Conference, there's also that possibility, and everybody knows that you could end up in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game if there's not enough SEC teams to go around for them. Where do things stand right now as we talk here on Tuesday morning?
Well, we are having a lot of those good conversations, as you mentioned. Both with Steve, Harold, the folks at the Liberty Bowl, as well as our conference and then other bowl games about what could be the options. The field of options is beginning to narrow, and I do think we'll have some clarity on this, obviously, by this Sunday. So we're down right now to a couple, 3 options, and we'll make sure we're prepared for each. Many times, unlike the old days, those decisions are beyond our ability necessarily to influence one way or the other. But certainly, we'd be excited to be here in our hometown. But there's other options out there as well. So we'll just have to kind of see how it plays out, what decisions are made, and regardless, we're going to get a really good opponent, because of the quality of year we've had, and some really good TV exposure for our university and our city, and hopefully a great experience for players and fans.
As you look at this season, certainly the 9-win seasons don't come by very often for the University of Memphis, and a chance to make it a 10-win season. How do you kind of assess the year overall that the team had?
Yeah, I feel really good about what we've done, and just where we're at overall. Certainly there's some close calls there, and there's obviously areas to improve and get better. But we took a substantial step, and that's what I talk about with all of our coaches here. So much of it is about trajectory, and it's really, really difficult to win. Right? It's a highly competitive world we're in, and every year you continue to improve and get better. Then eventually you get to the point where you really want to be, and that's competing for and competing in and winning championships, right? And now we didn't quite get there, but we took a substantial step forward towards that, and our expectation is to continue to elevate to yet another level. I feel good about our position and our ability to do that.
I know that you sit down with each and every coach at the conclusion of their seasons, kind of evaluate where things stand. Have you had that conversation with Coach Silverfield yet, or do you wait till after the bowl game?
We talk a lot, as you might imagine, and we've talked on the phone here over the last handful of days. But we'll get together in person here this week, and again, really every week. But then again after the bowl game as well. So I'd say it's more of an ongoing process. But we haven't had that kind of year-end sit-down yet. Although I'm sure there'll be more than one here in the weeks ahead.
When you are assessing him, or any coach at this point in time, how much consideration is there of the idea of where you stand as far as NIL goes, all of these things that now go into what makes it either a tougher coaching job possibly against when you're talking about what you're competing against?
Mm-hmm. The reality of it is when any of us, and that me or other sport administrators that deal with any of our sports, it's an ongoing kind of partnership conversation, right? It shouldn't be a sit down once or twice a year and kind of where things at. So there's a lot of detail that goes into managing a program, particularly a football program, particularly at the level we're at, and NIL is one of those. Staffing is one of those. The facilities, there's overall budget, travel budget, recruiting, the academic side. There's so many elements of it. But certainly, you have to understand the competitive landscape and where you sit, right? And that's an element that we have got to continue to push forward and work towards and find solutions to remain and be competitive at even higher level than we are now, right? So we've got to find a way, but that's as much my responsibility as it is coaches or any of our other staff, and so much of it falls on the shoulders of our best donors and our best people, right? To really understand that and get it and realize that we've got to invest in that way to be competitive. And then there's all the other benefits that come from winning, right? I mean, you want to be a winning program, to have the exposure, to have the marketing value for your institution and your city. I mean, there are big picture reasons why we have to compete in the NIL space so that we can realize the benefits in so many other areas.
Laird Veach joining us, University of Memphis Vice President and the Director of Intercollegiate Athletics. I want to step back to the bowl conversation we started this interview with. The breakdown from a conference standpoint, there's a little confusion, I think, out there in the public about who gets what. I think there's a lot of people that believe, well, if Memphis goes to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game, it's a higher payout than some of these other games associated with the conference, that Memphis gets all that money. That is not the case. Can you tell people how it's divvied up?
Yeah, I mean, essentially for each of the bowls, all the money from all the bowl contracts with the conference goes into one big pot. They distribute it a set amount per school that's equal across the board for really managing your expenses to the bowl game, which is challenging to do in many respects for a lot of us. The only one that's really different is Hawaii. There's an additional allotment for that, obviously because of the travel challenges, et cetera, and those costs. And then really everybody is sort of up to their ability to work within the allotment of that bowl to sell tickets, right? So, and then you can realize some additional revenue from tickets that are sold. So that's why it's so important that, our folks buy through us. If they're buying at a bowl game, whether it's the Liberty Bowl or any other bowl, by buying through us, that helps us financially. It also helps us from, just how we, our brand overall, and, obviously make sure you're with your fellow Tiger fans.
And then when it comes to the New Year's Six, and there's a good opportunity that Tulane, I'm not so sure if SMU wins, if they can get in, but maybe. But Tulane, if they win, will more than likely be in the Fiesta Bowl. And you guys were in the Cotton Bowl not that long ago. That's a lot of money. And that also goes into the coffers right of the conference split. I wouldn't imagine evenly. I would think that Tulane, in this case this year, and you guys, when you went to the Cotton Bowl, get a higher percentage of that money. Is that accurate?
That is accurate. Yeah, there's a significantly higher payout for that attendee in that bowl game, but it does also significantly benefit all the conference partners. Right. So there's it is definitely better, significantly. I don't remember the exact numbers off the top of my head. I'd say it's twice as much at least of the distribution. But it's obviously beneficial for everybody, and that's one of the great things about our conference is you do have a chance to and it's been proven year in and year out. Majority of the time, our conference champion has been in that bowl game, and that's a very helpful piece to our brand overall. Something we need to fight to continue to maintain.
It very well wouldn't matter because they may not get into it if they win. But with SMU, and regardless of what bowl they go to, with them leaving the conference, how is that handled money-wise for whatever bowl they go to?
Yeah, they are treated this year, at least this is my understanding. So, you have to check directly with the conference to confirm it. But if I recall correctly, my understanding is there is a separation agreement and a payout that is determined and negotiated that we all approved as members, with SMU. But that is separate from, their distributions this year. So they received the distributions this year as they normally would, and then we've also settled on a separation amount, and how that's handled directly with the conference.
Laird Veach joining us, University of Memphis Vice President and Director of Intercollegiate Athletics. You can follow him on Twitter at Laird Veach. All right, so let's dive into the big news that happened recently. The Frederick W. Smith family, headed by, of course, Fred Smith, the executive chairman of FedEx, the $50 million challenge gift to the university for renovations to Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. Huge news. I know there's still a lot to get done, including your guys' side of raising the $50 million. But first of all, if you wouldn't mind talking about, obviously, the excitement of getting that news. How did it all come about, and how were you guys involved with Mr. Smith and FedEx to be able to have that thing come to materialize?
Yeah. First of all, obviously, extremely grateful to Fred Smith and the entire Smith family, because they were, and continue to be very involved with it as a family. But it's incredible, right? But when you have a gift of that magnitude, it's just such a kind of ringing endorsement and gives you so much credibility when you're, trying to make the case for others to support a project like this. When you have, the leader of our community stepping up and saying this is critically important, both for us and for the Grizzlies and the FedEx Forum, that it says a lot, right, about the importance and the impact of sports on our community. Mm-hmm. So extremely grateful, and of course to the mayor, to city council, others that are going through this with us. It is a remarkably impactful opportunity for us. Now, how it came about really is it's all about really from Fred Smith. I mean, there was certainly a lot of ongoing conversations over time about the stadium and the projects and how things were going, some of the challenges as they began to present themselves more and more. But ultimately this was his idea and his call. And not a few weeks ago, I don't remember the exact date. He called the president, he called me, he called the mayor, and he told us what he wanted to do and kind of laid it out for us. And not only his gift, but the importance of they're really challenging the Tiger Nation to step up and support this development with him, and the importance of us, owning the stadium as a auxiliary services foundation of the university, mm-hmm. Because of the position that puts us in long term as a university. Right? If big time places that are at power type schools, the vast majority of them own their own home, and they manage it and they invest in it and they maximize the opportunities that it presents.
The $50 million that you guys, I guess, are matching, where will that money come from?
Yeah, I mean, it's really going to ultimately be about our other donors, and it's going to start with our top level folks. And we've been talking to several of them about the need for us to have a significant comprehensive campaign with the primary driver, that being the football stadium, because of how that positions us long term on so many levels, as we've talked about so many times. And so that's where we're going to start. I mean, we will over the next several months really be having conversations with what you could call in the fundraising circles the leadership phase or the quiet phase, even though this is obviously not very, very much not quiet. That's what usually happens in that stage of a fundraising campaign, is you're talking to your lead folks about other 7-figure, 6-figure gifts. That's going to drive the vast majority of our success. And then there'll be opportunities down the road as people buy new club seats and loge boxes and help commit to other things on the down the path. It'll get down to where we have grassroots type support as well. So it's going to take everybody doing their part. It's not going to happen overnight, but there is going to be some significant urgency to us to move the needle in a big way fairly quickly.
What is the timetable for, number one, the handover of the stadium to the university? I assume that still needs did the vote already happen with the council? I'm not even sure where we stand as far as that's concerned. So what's the timetable as far as that? And number two, even if you don't have $50 million raised by the end of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game, I assume with the gift from Fred Smith and family and also the state money that's allocated, that you guys can start construction on time when you expect it to start, or does that still have to get go through jump through a bunch of hoops here, or are you right on target?
Well, it's certainly a complex development that's happened pretty quickly, right? So, but it has great momentum and a great path forward. First of all, I'd say from a city council standpoint, they certainly need to vote and approve this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean that is their right, their obligation to see that through and make the decision that's best for the city, for the university. That process, my understanding, I think it can go through up to 3 readings. So they have meetings every 2 weeks. So I believe next Tuesday there's another every Tuesday. So there's a meeting next Tuesday. They'll discuss it further, so it could go into a couple more after that. So over the next
6 weeks,
2 to 5 weeks, something like that. This will hopefully come to an official conclusion, and the current plan is for ownership to transition after the AutoZone Liberty Bowl into the first of next year. So I think it's the end of December, beginning of January, in that time frame. Obviously, there's still a lot of details to be worked out, and we are in I feel a really good position with the city officials and our outline of the agreement of terms and what that would all look like. Obviously, we're starting good conversations with the other partners that are out there at the stadium as well, and talking about how we can work with them and how we feel good about those relationships moving forward. So there's a lot to get our head around, but I feel really good about it and where it's headed. And then to answer your question about the project and the fundraising, a lot of that's still coming together. I do really expect us to move forward with at least a phase or a piece of the project as soon as possible after this season. Obviously we need some time to kind of get our heads around it. There's a lot of detail work, contracts, things like that got to get in place. But we would like to start construction as soon as possible. I could very well see this becoming more of a phased approach where we start with some of the elements that we know we can move forward with right away. Maybe that's like, the part of the east side, or we talk about converting a level of the suites on the east side to accommodate media, TV, operations, coaches, all of that, so that it positions us for the west side. We've talked about there's a great deal of deferred maintenance that needs to be done. And then we're going to need some time to sort of get our heads around the final plan on the west side, some of the halo work, and to raise the money, right? So we're not going to overextend ourselves in terms of knowing what we have. So it's going to take some efforts over the coming months to really move forward with that piece. So the exact timing of the rest of that, we still got to work through. But as soon as we can get some clarity on it with the design team, the construction team, and as soon as we get a good feel of how our donors are going to respond, then we'll make the final commitment and move forward. So I feel good about it progressing. It may not be the exact timeline, but it's going to start happening fast, and we're going to push forward.
So you kind of hit on a little bit, but can you kind of explain of why it is important for you guys to have that ownership of the stadium and what it allows you to do? And so do the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, the Showboat, Southern Heritage, do they then become tenants of yours?
Yeah, that would be the idea. They would then, shift over to working with us as the essential owner and manager of the stadium. Now, we would work with the same ownership group or management group, OVG, who's been working with the city for some time now and has a contract in place that we will assume and continue to move forward with. So a lot of the day-to-day management details will continue to, roll along smoothly. But yeah, they'll partner with us. We don't expect any significant changes. That's something, those kind of, events and opportunities are obviously really important to the city. They're great for, the university, the exposure to all of us. And we recognize our partnership there. So we don't expect a lot of changes there. We're just going to want to be good partners and make them work well for those groups. Obviously, as we're talking about the Liberty Bowl right now, that's a relationship we got that's right here, and it's helpful. So I expect it to be not too dissimilar to what it's been, if not very, very close. And the other thing that I would say is, when you think about the benefit of a kind of primary tenant owning a stadium, it sort of becomes the difference between how you treat if you own if you were someone that owned several homes, how you might treat your own home versus how you treat, a home that you don't necessarily live in, right?
Right.
And so we are, obviously we use it more than others, and we're gonna treat it with some with a lot of love and care, because
I hear you.
It's going to generate a lot of opportunities for us, not only from a revenue standpoint, but how we interact with our fans, how we present our brand. So that will be a benefit to those other tenants too, because they have essentially an owner that lives in their home, and that's going to really have them over as guests and treat it maybe even better than what it has, right? So it just changes the mindset and the perspective, and it maximizes your opportunity to really control your own destiny with how you treat your customers, how you maximize revenue streams, all of those things.
Yeah.
So it's a really, really important step as we want to try to continue to elevate as a university and an athletic department.
All right, we'll leave you with this, and we appreciate your time. We'll talk basketball one day with you. We'll get you back on at another time that's convenient for you. Lots to talk about as far as that's concerned. But Richard Smith was on with Dave Woloshin, who follows our show, and talked about the decision for the family to do what they did and step up. Richard also said some cryptic things when talking about the future for the University of Memphis and maybe further realignment somewhere around the nation. He said, we got some tricks up our sleeves. It's almost like he knew something, but obviously wasn't divulging. He said he could not give out any information. Do you believe that there are tricks up your sleeve and that there will be still more movement here sooner than later around the nation?
First of all, to answer that last part, I do definitely think there will continue to be movement around the nation. Now, exactly the time, if that's, this coming summer, it seems like every summer there's been some kind of development,
right?
Or whether that's, another year or 2 or 3 down the road. And in the not too distant future, there's going to continue to be significant movement. And I say that only because, college athletics is obviously in such a state of change and turmoil, and, the model is going to be adjusting in some way, shape, or form. There's just so much at a high level that's going to have to continue to evolve, that's going to have impacts and create, call it potential opportunities for a program like ours with the things we can bring. So, yeah, I think there's going to continue to be opportunities and changes. I also think our competitive position as it sits right now is pretty dang good, and that we ought to expect to win at a really high level. And there's partners like FedEx and others. We have some really, really good high-level donors here and supporters that want to help us. So I think there's going to be more. Whether there's call them tricks up your sleeve, I don't know, but that's. I hope he's absolutely right, and I certainly expect when Richard Smith or anybody for that family speaks, that they're speaking the truth and that there's opportunity there.
He is Laird Veach, University of Memphis Vice President and Director of Intercollegiate Athletics. You can follow him on Twitter at Laird Veach. Thank you so much for your time, Laird. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
You
Go
too.
Tigers.
You too. Jingle and Gems, this is a holiday party invitation for you at Gaddis Jewelers this Thursday. It's coming up from 5 until 8 o'clock. A night filled with live entertainment, festive cocktails, savory bites while shopping their newest arrivals just in time for the holidays. Create your personal wish list and let the elves at James Gaddis Jewelers do the work. So that's our invitation to you to come out between 5 and 8 on Thursday night to sip, savor, and shop the Jingle and Gems holiday party from James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, folks. Bob Burkheimer, Sunrise Buick GMC Truck. Thinking about a new car or truck and not sure where to get the most for your money? Listen to what Sunrise has to offer. Over 800 new Buicks and GMCs to choose from with their factory rebates and $15 million used car inventory, specializing in vehicles under $15,000. Bad credit, bankrupt, slow pay, it's okay. At Sunrise, we specialize in secondary financing, and Sunrise wants to get you financed. Apply online at sunrisememphis.com. The #1 volume Buick and GMC dealer in the Mid-South. Sunrise, Covington Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know. Binswanger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 145 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Binswanger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Binswanger Glass in Midtown at 340 South Hollywood across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit binswingerglass.com. Binswanger Glass.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
At Lowe's, you can save big on DeWalt tools, tough enough to take on even the most demanding jobs. Right now, buy one DeWalt 20-volt max brushless drill kit or impact driver kit for just $99. And there's more. Save over $20 on the DeWalt Tough Grip 110-piece screwdriver set. Was $49.98, now only $25.98. Because Lowe's knows tools, Lowe's knows pros. Valid through 11/29 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets, with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli, with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Let's end this year with a bang with Gossett Mitsubishi's Mitsubishi Motors year-end sales event. You want huge savings? We Gossett. The awards keep coming for the world's first and best-selling plug-in hybrid SUV. 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. 420 total range and PGE. We Gossett at $299.96 a month. Plus, 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. Buy for $26,850 or $379 a month. Plus, IIHS top safety pick in seat 7. 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander. $32,185 or $399 a month. All equipped with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You want it, we Gossett. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or 24/7 at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
PHEV PZ062-303 MSRP 44,355 84 months 500 military and conquest or loyalty rebate. Outlander RZ 006545 MSRP 33,185 Sport RU 0010004 MSRP 27,850 includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
So it took a little while, but we did get a correct answer in Humdinger's trivia. I kind of stumped the people today. This was a little harder one for folks to look up than some of the others. But we do have a correct answer after a number of incorrect answers. And Zach, you do not need to do a tiebreaker today. Only one person was able to get this one right. The question was, which Tigers player has scored the most points in a game against Ole Miss in a win for the Tigers since 2000? You did not have to go back very far. You only had to go back a few years. Precious Achua in 2019 had 25 against Ole Miss in a victory. Now, the reason I did it, I could have asked the question of what Tigers player has scored the most points against Ole Miss since 2000. And if anybody could have just come up with that answer without looking it up, then they should deserve to own Humdingers. Because that one would be Ricky Tarrant Jr.
Wow.
If anybody could have come up with that one without looking it up,
how many?
Honestly, they should get Humdingers. He had 29.
Wow.
But the Tigers lost that game. That's why I went with a win, because I was like, if nobody's coming up with Ricky Tarrant Jr.
Ricky Tarrant Jr., 29. Precious Uchua, 25. Will there be a player that goes over those marks on Saturday? If there is a choice out there from people, I'm not so sure a consensus, but I would think that most people would say if there's a chance it happens, it's David Jones. And David Jones was named to the American Athletic Conference Honor Roll team for the second straight week after his performance at the Battle for Atlantis. He averaged 20 points, 5 rebounds, 2.7 steals per game while leading Memphis to wins over Michigan and number 20 Arkansas. He shot 51.4% from the field. He connected on 6 3-pointers and drained 18 of his 21 free throws. Had the big game in which he scored 36 points in the win over Arkansas. So possibly Saturday, David Jones could go off against Ole Miss.
DeJuan Wagner, by the way, also had 25 in a game, but that was also in a loss. So Precious gets the title in the win with his 25-point performance.
5 favorite things tomorrow. Your 5 favorite things topic. Your 5 favorite NFL head coaches of all time. Your 5 favorite NFL head coaches of all time. Get your list together. We'll do it tomorrow. 5 favorite things. Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. Call Brandon McCullough at 901-438-5084 or go online to newroofmemphis.com. The winter is approaching. Boy, you don't want to have issues with your roof. I mean, any time's a bad time, but especially in the cold weather. They offer financing with different plans and options to choose from, including a 6, 12, or 18-month same-as-cash option. They'll work with your insurance company or out of pocket, whatever it takes. They're part of the Roofs for Troops program. Any veteran, active, or retired, you get a $250 rebate on the purchase of a new roof. They do residential and commercial roofing, so business owners and property managers, obviously homeowners as well. If you have a leak or any other roofing problem, call Brandon today. They'll come out and do a free roof inspection. They're licensed, bonded, and insured, and a member of the Better Business Bureau. You get a 5-year labor warranty on the purchase of a new roof, and all their work is satisfaction guaranteed. That includes carpentry work, exterior painting. They can install shingles, replace gutters, put up fencing and siding, rotten wood repair, whatever you can't do yourself. Call the experts at Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration. Quality work at a very good price. Call Brandon today at 901-438-5084. Tell me you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings, or go online to newroofmemphis.com. We're talking plenty of round ball in hour number 3. We'll open up with Zoe Goodson from Rhodes and then Parthu Pajai from the Daily Memphian on Memphis Tigers hoops. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Want to play a private country club but only pay daily greens fees? Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis is your place. You can now play a beautiful, challenging course for only $59 plus tax, including cards. Meadowbrook Country Club features champion Bermuda greens and now is available to everyone. A membership is only $350 per month and includes tennis, pickleball, and swimming, plus a great restaurant and bar. Golf Pro Mark can even fix you up with custom-made tricks on clubs. Call 870-394-4186 today for your Tuesday through Sunday tee time at Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis.
How's the Christmas shopping going? Yeah, that's what I thought. But Frontier Western Store will make it a lot easier. Everyone loves something from Frontier. They have thousands of coats, shirts, and boots. Outfit the entire family today. Looking for a Carhartt beanie? Frontier has every color they make. You'll find a whole wagon full of beanies. You'll also run into the largest selection anywhere of in-stock Carhartt and Ariat jackets and coats. They have endless aisles, an astounding collection at amazing prices. Don't forget the boots, work boots, and dress boots from Rocky, Dan Post, and especially Ariat. Frontier is the place to shop for name brand boots at the lowest prices every day. Way lower than chain stores and online. Thousands of boots in all sizes for men, women, and children. Not sure what to get? Frontier gift cards are always the right size, color, and price. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, or shop online 24/7 at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
The
The Black Friday sales event is on, and you better run, not walk, to Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. Plus, Gossett's got no payments for 90 days. That's right, 90 days, no payments. Take your pick, 2023 Dodge Charger SXT or 2023 Dodge Challenger SXT, $6,000 off MSRP. Or check out 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn, seat 6, 6,750 pounds towing capacity. We Gossett at $11,000 off. And if we don't have what you're looking for, Gossett can order it today. So drive past the rest and come to the best at Gossett on the Pike, or shop online at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Charger PH 50 8657, MSRP 35960. Challenger PH 596577, MSRP 36345. Ram PN 523262, MSRP 55755. Financing and deferred monthly to well-qualified buyers through Chrysler Capital or Stellantis Financial Services. Take retail delivery by 11/30/23. Includes all rebates and incentives. 695 PF. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/2023 with approved credit dealer stock only.
Here's Gould's holiday special in-store and online. Come to any Gould's over the Black Friday weekend or purchase online on Cyber Monday and Tuesday and receive $20 off when you purchase $120 in gift cards. It's the perfect gift for everyone. This holiday season, give someone you love a Gould's gift card. The Gould's gift card doesn't just send wishes, it grants them. Happy holidays from Gould's. Gould Salon Spa, locally owned and operated since 1932.
Roofs, roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Memphis' oldest restaurant, Coletti's, was established in 1923 to give Memphians the best Italian food possible. And I'd say they got it right. They are the creators of the barbecue pizza. It was Elvis's favorite, and I know for a fact that a large will feed one person all weekend. If you need to feed several, though, Coletti's caters any event. Choose from homemade lasagna, ravioli, Alfredo, primavera, and so many other delicious items you can't help but enjoy. Impress employees or clients and treat them to Coletti's for lunch or dinner. Plan ahead and get your holiday party booked at Coletti's. Elvis's favorite place to go eat with his buddies at the South Parkway location, and Coletti's even has an Elvis room dedicated to him. Call Coletti's on South Parkway at 948-7652 or Appling Road at 383-1122. Coletti's. It was Elvis's favorite, and it should be yours too.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. They're wrapping up an accident over in Germantown at Poplar Pike at Oakley Lane. Also in the clearing stages of a crash, Austin P Highway southbound right before you get to I-40. Putting the final touches on that crash at the intersection of New Brownsville Road at St. Elmo Avenue. A car hit a pole earlier. They're going to have to fix that at Hester Road just east of Whitworth. Hey, don't miss it this year. Enchanted Garden of Lights at Rock City in Chattanooga. Check them out this holiday season online right now at CRockCity.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Okay, this car looks great wrapped around you,
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:06 the time, hour 3 here on Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you. Family Leisure Studios. We can't thank Family Leisure enough for being the sponsor of our studio. You can visit them at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. If you missed our interview with Laird Veach, University of Memphis Vice President of Intercollegiate Athletics, it was a good interview, and you can check it out at your leisure by going to sportsmemphis.com. That's our website. We'll have it up there on featured audio for you. We'll post it, but also you can listen to the podcast of each show. We break them down hourly, so obviously it was in hour number 2 to hear Laird Veach. Coming up a little bit later on in this hour, Parth Upadhyay will join us to talk some University of Memphis athletics. But right now, it's time to talk some Rhodes athletics.
It's time to go inside Rhodes College Athletics on Sports 56 Mornings. Every week, a representative from Rhodes will join Greg and Eli to talk about all things Lynx. Let's go inside Rhodes Athletics now on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It is a pleasure once again to be joined in studio by the head coach of the Rhodes men's basketball team, that's Zoe Goodson. You can follow him on Twitter at Zoe Goodson. Hope you had a happy Thanksgiving.
It was a great Thanksgiving. My wife Kelly and I, we didn't do much at all Thursday. We just hung out at the house, made our own little Thanksgiving meal. It was non-traditional and did our own thing. It was awesome. How about you all?
I was in Philadelphia with the football team, so we had dinner at the hotel. You were back from Philly and back home, right?
Yeah, got to see the family for the first time in quite some time on Thanksgiving. So it was good. It was very good.
I know how busy it is for especially basketball and football coaches during the Thanksgiving holiday. And as you were eating whatever you ate on Thursday night, I guarantee you were sitting there going, all right, we got Webster and then we got Washington University coming in on Sunday. And you met both those teams, and it came out pretty well. On Saturday, you beat Webster 91-67, so you laid it on them. Then you went up against one of the top teams in the country in Division III, in Wash U. Took them down to the wire, fell 78-74.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. Really proud of the guys and their effort. You know, I was telling you guys before we went on air, just where we were 3 weeks ago to where we are today, the strides that we're taking, it's unbelievable. So really excited about where we're going in the direction. Saturday was fun. It was good to see everybody get a chance to play in that game. But, you know, Phil Dotson just had an incredible weekend at 31 on Saturday. Comes out, gets face guarded the entire 35 minutes he's on the floor on Sunday. Still finds a way to get 25 and 5. Just, guys stepping up all weekend was great to see. And like I said, just the direction we're going and how much better we're getting every day is really great to see.
You were talking about Dotson's numbers before we went on, what he's doing within the conference, leading the conference in scoring, with third in assists. I mean, he's putting up some incredible numbers so far.
Yeah, he really is. You don't really see a scoring point guard that it can put up the numbers by putting up 25 a game and put up the assist, right? It's usually one or the other, right? You're either a distributor or a really good scorer. So for him to be second in assist to turnover, he's out here in assist to turnover, second in the league, but he's 4.5 assists a game. He played 35 minutes, and I would say of those 35, he controlled the ball 90% of the time for our offense. And he only had one turnover against a top 10, top 15 opponent in the country. So it just tells you how poised he really is as a sophomore. He's composed the entire game, never gets frustrated, just really, really takes his time and lets the game come to him.
Named the Southern Athletic Association Player of the Week, Phil Dotson, after the week he had. But you're right about a guy who has the ball in his hands the majority of the game to limit the turnovers the way he has. That's essential because that point guard is that quarterback out there. And if he's fumbling and stumbling and turning it over a half dozen times, you're in trouble.
And you know what? 2 weeks ago, maybe about 3.5 weeks ago, we were having an issue with that, right? And so we adjusted our practice plans and we really put a focus on value in the basketball as a whole. And now we lead the league in turnover margin because we're averaging the fewest turnovers and forcing the most amount of turnovers. So it's something we focus on, something I've always focused on as a head coach, is to keep it under 12 turnovers a game. That's kind of where the analytics show if you can keep it under 12 turnovers a game, you give yourself a chance every single game.
You also on Saturday had a freshman in the first half of that game step up, a 20-point half for a freshman.
20-point half and just absolutely dominated the half. He came in right away. So as soon as he comes in the game, takes a shot, misses it, and very next possession takes a shot, nothing but net. So he's a guy that just he doesn't let a missed shot or something that didn't go right in the game. It doesn't bother him. He's a next play mentality young man. Trevor Lombard from Houston, Texas, just does a really, really good job. Again, I use the word poised with Phil, but for a freshman, I can assure you there's not another player in the country as a freshman that is as composed as he is the entire time he's on the floor.
With all the injuries that you've had to start the season, I would imagine as the coach that you've talked to these young players and said, hey, your time may be coming quicker or sooner than expected, so be ready.
Like right now, right? I mean, that was the conversation. As soon as the guys started going down, and we knew coming in with one guy with a surgery over the summer, but just straight up told him, like, look, your opportunities are going to come immediately. So you got to take advantage of that. Like, I don't determine playing time, you do, and with what you do and how hard you work. And Trevor's a guy that he saw it right away. Sean Jones, another guy that saw it right away. Those two guys, they got in the gym immediately. I mean, they put in a ton of extra work all preseason, been putting in extra work throughout the season, and it's showing. It's starting to show every game for them now, and it's showing in practice.
When you were recruiting those guys, like, did you think, like, these are guys who could step in right away and play right away?
The cliche thing to say is, of course, I recruited them, we recruited them for that reason, right? But, with freshmen, you never know, right? And so you know what their potential is, and you know that we're going to take a lot of time to develop them. Do we ever expect you can't go into any season expecting a freshman to give you these type of numbers that they're giving you, because you can't rely on that, because there is an adjustment period. Now, you do, by the time you get to the midway point of the season, expect that, right? But early on, there's such an adjustment that goes on. So for them to adjust as quick as they did, absolutely not. We're really proud of how, again, I can't keep saying it. I know you guys are sick of me saying it, but composed they really are.
Well, as you just talked about with the recruiting, everybody knows with coaching, it's not just X's and O's and diagramming plays, it's recruiting. And I would imagine with Division III, it's got to be hard to be able to figure out where these players are that are at that level, because I'm sure every kid out there playing high school ball thinks they're a D1 player. And then there's obviously a D2 in between. Right. So how are you able to identify those players? Especially you got a guy we just talked about that's coming from Houston. It's not like you're picking up all the kids from the local area where you see and can read about and all that. It must be a real big challenge to find those players. First of all, to identify them.
Well, the biggest piece, too, with Rhodes is academics, right? So we're also trying to find the right athlete that values academics as much or more, because of the requirements to get into Rhodes.
Right.
So with that, you take a lot of advantage of all the folks around the country, and working for a guy like Tubby for all these years.
Sure.
You're constantly on the phone, working the phones, and then you get out during
networking,
the summer.
right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. And so we're doing a lot of that, but the biggest thing for us is we recruit what we think are top-notch athletes that have options at, we've got guys on the roster that could have gone and walked on at a Division I. We have guys on this roster right now that had Division II scholarship offers, but they valued the academic piece a little bit more than some others, and so Rhodes was one of their top choices. And then we showed them what we were building. We showed them our facilities, and everything we have at Rhodes is a little bit better than some of their other options that maybe they did have scholarship offers. So it is more difficult. There's no doubt about it. Identifying that athlete that is really good and going to take you to the next level, but not so good that they're going to leave you high and dry and go to a different spot.
Yeah, and you're going to get them for probably the 4 years.
Most definitely, because they want to get their education.
The portal, yeah.
With Lombard, who's shooting like 45% from three-point range, was that what he was at the high school level, like he was a shooter?
No doubt about it. He made 111 threes in his high school season. So, I mean, you think about it, that's a condensed season compared to what we play. He made 111 of them in his senior year, made 113 his junior year.
Wow.
So he's just a shooter. I mean, and when you see a shot, he's a lefty. It is pure as can be. I mean, it's one of the most beautiful things you'll ever see on a basketball court.
What is the hardest thing to identify in a player that you want? What attribute? How they play defense?
So the biggest thing for me is we know a lot of guys coming in from high school level, or they're not probably have been taught this system that we have defensively. So we know there's going to be a learning curve there, so we accept that. But for us, the biggest thing that I had to change and get in the roster was we play 94 feet almost the entire game. So athletic, we got to get a pure athlete that can run the floor and really get up and down. And so in our tempo, we're up there. We're top 75 in tempo in the country. Mm-hmm. And so we don't play any Grinnell system. We don't play any of that. But we play a very up tempo style and forcing turnover. So we try to find the longer. We want longer guys because of our press. We want guys that have speed because, like Sunday, our speed worked to our advantage. We were able to get downhill the entire game. So really length and speed, those are the two top things that I really look for. And then we teach them the defense of the bully ball, so to speak, on the other end to get them going.
So you can learn that, yeah.
Is Grinnell still playing that style, by the way?
Yeah, they are. There's a lot of Division III schools playing the system. A lot.
Really?
Yeah. So when you go into the stats, if you go in the NCAA stats and you see all these high number of assists and points scored and all this, usually your top 30 and all those are all playing the system.
So they just recruit.
So you say top 20, you said top 75 or whatever in pace. Like it's hard to be top 20 or 30 because you've got so many doing that.
So many playing the system. And so I like to say that in pure basketball terms, we're top 40 in pace.
So is Grinnell going out there and just finding all the best three-point shooters? It's not just three-point shots, obviously, but
it's primarily three-point shooting.
But that's what I was going to say. It's most of it. So they're getting guys that it doesn't matter if they play defense.
They play like a minute and a half. So they do rotate five players at a time. So it's 5 in, 5 out. And they're only playing like a minute and a half. So they're all out press, go for the steal, kick it out for a three, and then they try to do it again. Then they give up. They'll give up a layup because they know they're going to outshoot you from the three-point line.
So let me
have you played any teams that play that system?
Knock on wood, no.
Okay, do you think that system could be successful at higher levels?
No.
No. Okay.
No. I mean, I don't. I'm not going to bash anybody's system. I just don't see it. Being what I think is a basketball purist, I don't see it being successful at a higher level.
Well, what about? Forget about the shooting. Arkansas, for years under Nolan, 40 minutes of hell, right? They were full court pressure from the get-go.
No doubt.
We don't see that anymore. Could that be something that a team would be successful in doing if they had the players to be able to do it and have the depth?
No doubt. I think Penny's press is one of the best in the country. I mean, the way they're disciplined in their trap and their run and jump.
Right, but he's not doing it for 40 minutes.
He's not doing it for 40 minutes, but I do think that you could press at a high level in college basketball, Division 1, 2, or 3, at a very high level. It's no doubt that you could practice it, and it's been proven to be done over and over and over with high athletes. It's really, you got to make sure that you have the team that is going to buy into it.
Well,
give you that effort that it takes to press that long.
That's why I was like, can you convince today's players to come in and want to play defense like that?
You can't, because you could show them how easy a bucket you get from playing defense that way. So
the reward.
Like the Grinnell thing, it's easy to recruit players for that.
Yeah.
Here's what you do. You come in and you just shoot a bunch of threes.
Right.
Like, that's all we want you to do. Hell yeah, I'll sign up for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I can't. I mean, I do. And we show clips of University of Memphis and what they do and how, that they have similar trapping areas that we do. And the reward is not always a guy in the trap. You may not get the steal, but if you sprint out of that trap, if you get the steal and I sprint out, I'm going to get the layup or the corner three.
Right.
And so, yeah, I think you can, and I think that Penny does a great job of getting. I think he does the same thing. I think he recruits unbelievable offensive talent and teaches them his defensive system because it is a really good one, obviously.
All right, this weekend you begin conference play in Conway, Arkansas against Hendrix on Saturday. You're back home to take on Huntington College on Sunday at Maury Gym. What about the prospects this weekend?
First conference game, we got to going to Hendrix is never easy. They have a unique gym, and they're going to be rowdy. I mean, anytime we show up to campus, they bring out a great crowd. So we got to be ready for that, and I think we've done a good job. We started on the road those first two games, and they were very intense crowds. So our guys, they know it's not going to be a stranger to them to see that. But big weekend for us. You know, we gotta find a way to start conference off the right way, and then quick turnaround. You know, we got to drive home 3 hours and quick turnaround for Sunday's game.
Well, I want to wish you nothing but the best.
Appreciate it. It's been to be 2-4. It's been a lot of fun. It really has to see these guys get so much better. And you know, the one thing I also want to say is the community, our crowds. You know, we're second in the conference in attendance right now, which we haven't been even top half in my tenure here. So the community support, but I thank you guys for that, because I think we're getting more community support because of this show, and I really appreciate it.
Well, it's great having you here each and every week. So we'll talk to Zoe again next Tuesday. He's the head coach of the Rhodes men's basketball team. He's Zoe Goodson. You can follow him on Twitter at Zoe Goodson. Best of luck. We'll talk to you next week.
Appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Folks, Mid-South Ag, they are the place to go for all your equipment needs. You can go find them. They're just south of Collierville on Goodman Road. Easy to get to. If you take I-269, you take the Goodman Road exit, and they're just a half mile west of that. The Case IH for all series of tractors, bush hog equipment, and much, much more, from new equipment to pre-owned equipment. You'll find it at Mid-South Ag Equipment. You can also find them online at midsouthag.com to check out the inventory that they've got, plus get any specials and other things that they have. They've got it all right there on the website at midsouthag.com. For all those equipment needs, go see the great folks at Mid-South Ag Equipment.
We're talking Tigers basketball when we return. Parthu Pajai, who covers the Tigers for the Daily Memphian, he'll join us in studio. He's next. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app, or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Hey, everybody, that to-do list for the holidays? Well, you're going to want to write this down. Go to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch. A lot of these new Silverados have red tags, and Kevin and Jeff said they'll get you financing as low as $1.9 or $2,000 cash. You can get one of these new Equinoxes with financing as low as $1.9 or $1,000 cash, and your good credit deserves it. And look, I'm out here in Olive Branch, and All-Star has any new Chevy you want. Tahoes, Trailblazers, and a lot of families I know love these new Traverses with all the cargo space and third-row seating. And so can you. And do more together this holiday season. Military, teachers, college students, healthcare. You get $500 bonus. And if you want certified pre-owned Chevys or any pre-owned car, All-Star has a lot full. Silverados, Ram trucks. Here's a Nissan Rogue, Lexus, Honda, Suburbans, Jeeps. If it's not here, just ask Jeff and he'll find it for you. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah or Bartlett or even Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch, people. So find new roads to All-Star Chevy today or go to allstarautogroup.com.
As the weather gets colder, the NFL offers Stay Hot on FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. I like putting parlay bets together, hammering the overs, and anytime player touchdown bets always have me on the edge of my seat. So if you're ready to do the same, visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season. That's FanDuel.com/win. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $5 pregame money line wager required. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets. It expires 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline 1-800-889-9789.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry, and they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Bartlett Small Engine has free pickup and delivery both at your home and curbside for lawnmowers, blowers, edgers, and any small engine. Call 901-386-9779.
Grapevine Liquor and Wine has the largest selection of bourbon in North Mississippi and wines from all over the world. Let Jimmy the Delta Boy help you select the perfect spirit or wine to impress. Whether you're looking for the best price or a certain flavor profile, Grapevine Liquor and Wines has it. If you want good Southern treatment and the hottest prices, Grapevine Liquor and Wine, Getwell Road, South Haven.
Hotty toddy, gosh almighty, where do you get your bourbon? Flim flam, bim bam, Grapevine, by damn.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Get them to sign on the line which is dotted.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Gonna put the world away for a minute. Pretend I don't.
Acura Memphis Ridgeway at 385. That's where you'll find Acura Memphis. The great folks, the great people over there, the great cars, the Acura brand. Certainly, it's just great luxury and great pricing as well, and great folks to deal with when you're buying that new car or maybe a pre-owned vehicle, certified pre-owned Acuras, which you'll find at Acura of Memphis. Again, on Ridgeway at 385, but also online at AcuraMemphis.com. You can go to the website, get all the information you need about all the different models of Acura, inventory of pre-owned vehicles, talk to a representative right there. You can get trade-in value on your current vehicle. You can find out any specials they've got going on, whether it be financing to buy a car, maybe some lease options, all that special stuff that they've got going on. You'll find that on the website as well at AcuraOfMemphis.com.
Currently sunny, 39 degrees. We're looking at a high of 48 today. Clear skies tonight, low of 33. Then tomorrow, more sunshine. Few clouds rolling in, a high of 58 tomorrow. It will feel balmy compared to what it was earlier today. Parthu Upajai is going to join us in studio in just a few moments. If you missed it, announcing earlier our 5 favorite things topic for tomorrow, your 5 favorite NFL head coaches of all time. Your 5 favorite NFL head coaches of all time. Tomorrow on the program, Andy Borman will join us, Tigers assistant basketball coach who joins us each and every week. We'll talk with Jerry Palm about college football and basketball. DeMichael Cole on the Grizzlies, who will host the Utah Jazz tomorrow night. And we'll also talk a little baseball in hour number 1 with Matt Reiser, the new University of Memphis baseball coach. Just completed his recruiting class, his first recruiting class, and the schedule is out for the 2024 season. Matt will join us again. 5 favorite things, your 5 favorite NFL head coaches of all time. All right, so the Tigers not in the AP men's basketball poll again. We talked about this to open up the show. They finished 26th again with 108 points. Right behind Oklahoma, who came in at number 25. They had 120 points. They were leapfrogged by 5 teams. Last week they were leapfrogged by 2, I believe it was. So all I could think of is what you had said earlier, Eli, that the voters who even watched at all, if they watched, and some did and some didn't, saw Memphis getting walloped or saw the score of them getting walloped by Villanova in the first half of that game in the Bahamas and decided that, they're not top 25 worthy.
Yeah, I thought the win over Arkansas would have been enough to get them in combined with the win over Michigan. But it might even be more surprising to me that they dropped out of the coaches poll. Like, I certainly didn't think what they did last week would have been worthy of dropping out of that poll. But so that was probably even more surprising than not getting in the AP poll.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. Again, Michigan is a solid win. I know it's not a great Michigan team. Arkansas, they beat a ranked team in Arkansas. And again, they were getting walloped by Villanova, made the run in the second half to make it respectable. Still lost that game by double digits, but I don't know why that would be the difference maker in putting them in or out when they already have wins over Missouri on the road, Michigan, and Arkansas. We are joined now by our friend Parth Upajai from the Daily Memphian. He's the Tigers beat writer. You are back, obviously, from a sojourn down to the Bahamas. I hope you had time to enjoy that beautiful weather, that beautiful place in this world while covering the Tigers.
Yeah, not too much free time. It wasn't like the DR trip where we were kind of like chilling and hanging out and chatting with the guys and the coaches and stuff, but Still a good time. Nice to get some of that Caribbean air, right, while working.
Such a tough assignment.
Man, it's a hard life, man. It's a very
Somebody's
hard life.
got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it for sure. But, man, that last day before I flew back, I got to walk around on the beach a little bit, and that was nice.
He'll make up for it by going to Wichita in the winter or something like that and getting caught in a snowstorm. So, again, we were just talking about it. You walked in while we were talking about the top 25, and we opened up the show talking about this. You have a vote. You had him in at number 25 in your poll, which I think makes an awful lot of sense. I told you I could have went 25, I could have went 24. I know it's not the end-all, be-all. I understand that. They're just on the outside looking in. But that's 2 straight weeks. I don't get it. The only thing I can come up with is what we talked about, that maybe because they were getting shellacked by Villanova, people saw that score and thought, Memphis is not as good as those wins would indicate.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of 2 things. I think it's definitely the shellacking by Villanova. They were down by 35, man. Like,
I know.
People keep saying, like, oh, they rallied back and they came back and they fought. All true. All true. For 31 minutes or 40 minutes that game, they looked like they belonged not even in the same building, right, as that Villanova team. And that's, it sucks, but it's true. And they came back when Kyle Neptune was kind of playing rotations. He was, playing the back end of his lineup there. It's still, you got to give him credit for the effort, but you got to put it in context as well. So there's that piece of it. Then you look at Arkansas and Michigan. Coming in, we thought those wins were going to be, kind of bigger. Hopefully there's still quad 1 wins, right, for the Tigers' sake. But those teams, this preseason, Arkansas came in at 14th in KenPom. Michigan was not supposed to be that good, but still competitive. Now those 2 teams came in taking losses, right? Arkansas lost to UNC Greensboro. Michigan lost to Long Beach State. You beat them, they go down in KenPom, they go down in the metrics, then they proceed to lose again in that tournament. So those wins have now been watered down, right? And it's not Memphis' fault, it's not Penny Hardaway's fault, but it's just the reality. Like, those wins mean less, and the Villanova loss looks ugly. And it's a combination of both those things that, had some voters leaving them out this time.
Yeah, it would have helped if Arkansas could have followed up the loss to Memphis by winning the next game rather than just losing another game.
And they not just lost by 15.
Yeah.
To UNC with missing a starter. Carolina was missing Cormac Ryan. So they were playing with, 4 out of their 5 starters.
But 5 teams jumped them from behind Memphis.
Correct.
I mean, that's a lot of teams jumping a team that won 2 out of 3 in a big tournament with a lot of good teams.
I've got to think of it. It was BYU, right? Oklahoma. There's 3 other teams that leapfrogged Memphis. I'm blanking right now.
Well, one of them was Villanova.
One of them was Villanova.
Because they were
that's
behind.
3.
Yeah.
So Villanova's warranted, right? We can say that. BYU's undefeated with wins against San Diego State. They beat the heck out of Arizona State. I'm sure you saw that MT out in Vegas. They beat NC State, so they're undefeated.
Colorado State.
Alabama.
Illinois.
I believe Alabama was
Alabama.
Alabama was already
ranked, right? I ranked
fell
Alabama
down
last week as well.
It's Oklahoma, Illinois, Colorado State, BYU, Villanova.
Okay, so Illinois, I mean, we've talked about this, Greg. I think everybody else has talked about this as well on the radio yesterday. Illinois, that's the one that you circle and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. They haven't beaten anybody, and the one team they've played, the one legit, KenPom top 100, top 50 team they've played, they lost to is Marquette.
Can Memphis play? I know they love to play that chip on their shoulder type thing. Are they gonna do that again? Oh my gosh, we still don't get any respect. We're not in the top 25. Will they play that card?
Oh, 1,000%. Penny was asked about his NCAA tournament resume after the win against Arkansas. This is before obviously things went wrong against Villanova, and he said that he hopes that these wins matter, right, like they do with other teams. He said so, but he also proceeded to say that at Memphis. This is him talking. We don't get nothing easy, he said, So I think that's kind of the motto. That's kind of the spirit, right, that Penny preaches. And I think they'll use that as fuel to the fire going into Ole Miss.
Yeah, the Illinois played 1 game last week, and they beat Western Illinois. They beat the Leathernecks, and that was enough to get them into the top.
Wait, the Leather who?
The Leathernecks.
That's their mascot?
That's their nickname.
Yes,
yeah.
What in the world?
But yeah, so that's it. They didn't play one of these tournaments. They played 1 game against Western Illinois, won by 30, and that got them into the top 25.
They've played nobody. Like, look at the schedule. They've played nobody.
It's Eastern Illinois, Oakland. They played Marquette and lost. Valparaiso, Southern, and Western Illinois.
Okay, go figure. Parth, what was exposed?
They do play Florida Atlantic next week.
That's right.
And they'll get beat. What was exposed in that loss to Villanova?
think the obvious thing is rebounding, right? Like, teams are going to have bad shooting nights. Hopefully, if you're the Tigers, not that bad, because that was horrendous, right? They shot 15% in the first half, which is something. So at least I can't even think of the word for it, man. I can't.
It was something.
Atrocious.
Atrocious. But they missed 37 shots from the field, right, for the 40 minutes. You know how many offensive rebounds they got? 9 offensive rebounds. That just can't happen. You can't miss 37 shots and not get at least a third of them back. Shoot, So
and they're giving up a lot of offensive rebounds.
And they're giving up a lot on the other end too. So it just kind of that kind of leads to certainly a deficiency in terms of second chance points. I think you're not getting enough production out of the bigs right now.
Exactly.
Jordan Brown, Malcolm Dandridge, Nick Jourdain is good, but when you're playing him long minutes, you're undersized. You're not. Nick Jourdain's not 6'11", right?
What is wrong with Jordan Brown? Is he out of shape? Is he not as good as we thought he was going to be? Does he not have a motor that needs to be, at full strength? What is wrong with him?
I mean, it'd be tough for me to believe that he's not as, simply not as good, right? That seems like a simplification, no?
Right.
I mean, the guy won the Lou Henson Award, the mid-major player of the year, and he was dominant, not just against those Sun Belt teams. He was dominant against the big boys, man.
I know.
He, had a really great game against Tennessee in the NCAA tournament and had done it again against Power 5 opponents other places as well. I don't know. One thing Penny said this summer, and I think we had talked about this on the radio back in August, was he said Jordan Brown really needed to get into shape, right? He said he needed to lose 20 pounds. He believed, during that kind of, gap or intermission or whatever you want to call it between his time at Louisiana ending and Memphis picking him up, he didn't know what his future was, right? So he kind of wasn't staying in shape. He wasn't, staying in the weight room, staying in the gym, that sort of deal. So Penny did say for him to be a contributor, he would need to lose 20 pounds. Now, that's back in August. I don't know if that's happened, right? Now we're, 2-3 months down the road here. So, yeah, not sure. Maybe it is, lack of conditioning, lack of shape. But whatever it is, man, if he can get that together, Memphis can hit at a different level, obviously. I mean, we see that.
So how do you see the matchup with Ole Miss?
Yeah, I haven't seen Ole Miss play at all, honestly, this year yet. They play NC State tomorrow, but Ole Miss is undefeated.
Tonight they played.
Or tonight, tonight. So I guess we'll learn a little bit more about them then. I believe NC State's around this top 60, top 70 in Ken Pom versus, Ole Miss being more in that top 120, 150 range. So I think they'll be tested tonight, and we'll certainly learn more. But I think this is one that you've got to win, right? If you're Memphis, you can't go in there and lose, certainly, and you got to win convincingly. You can't go in there and have have it look ugly or escape in overtime or win by 2 or 5 points. You got to kind of go in there and show that, hey, we are a top 25 team, and this is why.
Well, it's going to be interesting to me because obviously Memphis wants to play really fast. That's what they do. Chris Beard has always wanted to play very slow, and that's what they do. So that the pace of the game will be interesting to see who can kind of win that battle because it is certainly two opposite ideas as to what they want to do as far as pace of play goes.
And Ole Miss has size, too. Not only pace of play, but they've got two bigs. I believe, is Musa Cisse?
They have not ruled
right?
yet. They still have not ruled. They are without him, and they were without Brandon Murray, one of their top transfers, because the NCAA hasn't ruled on either one of them.
But Jamarian Sharp is going to be playing.
Yeah, Jamarian Sharp. But the thing with Sharp and what teams have done to Ole Miss is, and this is why Jordan Brown may not. Teams are just going small against them. And he will not, he can't come out of the lane to guard anybody. He does. So they end up having to take him out of games because teams are putting basically 5 shooters out there, and he can't come out and guard guys out on the floor. So basically, they end up taking him out, and he's not good enough offensively.
Oh, he does nothing
for them to impose. Say, all right, well, that's fine. If you're going to go small, we're just going to let him dominate your guy on the bike. He's not good enough offensively to do that. So they end up having to just make the change and saying, fine. Now, Alan Flanagan has been awesome for them. But to me, the Tigers have a lot of guys, size and athletically, that can match up with Flanagan. That if you slow down Flanagan, unless Morrell or somebody gets really hot, the Tigers should be in really good shape against them.
And one thing with Sharp, Stansbury knows all his strengths and his weaknesses.
Exactly.
So
Just
having coached him in Western Kentucky. As far as the rotation is concerned, do you think now 6 games in and Penny's coached the last 3 that he has a set rotation?
It doesn't seem like it yet, right? I mean, is that fair to say?
Yes.
We see him kind of subbing guys in and out a little bit sporadically still. We see different guys coming off the bench to start games, right? I Carl Scherenfant played. This is a thought that I just had randomly. He played against Villanova and against Arkansas, I believe. So
did he play in mop-up duty, or it was one of those when it got out of hand?
No, I believe against Villanova it was out of hand from.
Yeah, so that's probably why he played. He was looking for a spark more than likely.
But I believe I want to say, was it Arkansas or Michigan? I got to go back and look at the game logs and stuff. But it was one of those games where he played when the bigs were in foul, or not the bigs. Somebody was in foul trouble, and they put him in, right? But it wasn't mop-up time. It wasn't garbage time. It was a time where Memphis had a lull, and they needed something to get them going, and they put Carl in. So I thought that was interesting.
What did you think of? We had a texter yesterday, Eli, talk about Ashton. Ashton had the big game against Michigan. And then I don't know if he got off the bench quickly in that second game, or maybe he was talking the Villanova game, but he didn't play as many minutes. I think it was the second game against Arkansas. We didn't see him come in and play coming off that game he had just played.
It was the – sorry, go ahead.
No, you know better than I do. You were there.
Yeah, so he had that 17-point game against Michigan, obviously. Arkansas, he played early. Like, he checked in around the 13, 12-minute mark of the first half.
Yeah, they were wondering, because of the poor shooting in the first half against Villanova, some texter was like, why not throw him in? Put him in
That's
there?
what I was asking the same question.
If you can't make a shot, why don't put the guy who just had a good shooting night in that gym a couple nights earlier?
Yeah, I think he played against Villanova. I don't know if he played as many minutes. I think his minutes kind of dwindled as the tournament went, which is, I don't know why, right? It's interesting to see. But he was missing shots as well, man. Like, I think he was like 4 of 5 from the field against Villanova, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, one of the games he had
pretty much it was equal opportunity missing against Villanova.
Yeah, and I think everything's skewed with the Villanova game because a lot of guys got in and ended up being everybody played because they got blown out. So that one's tough to digest when you're looking at like who's firmly in the rotation. I thought Jalen Young gave them good minutes. I didn't understand, was it the Michigan game or the Arkansas game? I'm trying to remember. When down the stretch, he had Jaden in the game. And I kept saying, I'm out in Philadelphia, I said, why has he got Jaden? I figured he brought Jaden in because he's a pretty good free throw shooter. That was when remember when Jaden threw the ball into the corner? Caleb Mills got stuck in the corner?
Yes.
Was that the Michigan game?
Was that the...
Or was it the Arkansas game?
I believe it was a stretch against Arkansas.
Whatever it was, and I'm thinking to myself, he's a veteran player who should know better than throwing the ball into the corner. Then he leaves his guy to double a guy going down the lane when Memphis was up. He leaves the three-point shooter in the corner who hits a three-point shot on it. And I'm like, why don't they bring Jalen Young in? If they're trying to break pressure, that kid has ball handling skills and has speed that Jaden doesn't have. And so he ended up playing more as the tournament went along, and I thought he gave them a spark. I like him coming off the bench because of his change of pace, the speed that he brings to the table.
He's shifty.
He's really shifty. So that's a guy I think you got to see in there. Obviously, we talked about Ashton and his ability to knock down threes. He's going to play Jaden. You have, obviously, Malco as your backup big. You have Jourdain. Now I'm up to, what am I up to, 10 now? 10 or 11?
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at the starting five, of the Javon Quinterly, Caleb Mills, Jaquan Walton, David Jones, Jordan Brown. Then you got Malcolm, right? Jaden Hardaway, Ashton Hardaway, Jalen Young, and who's the
Jourdain? Did you mention Jourdain?
That's it. And then Nick Jourdain. So that's 10 right there. So you're looking at 10 guys. And then Jonathan Pierre played, I believe, in that second game.
Yeah. So I mean, the rotation I don't think is going to get any less than 10. I don't see it happening.
It'd be unless somebody's in foul trouble or something.
Well, yeah,
of that
I'm just
nature,
saying in a
right?
normal game, a solid game where it's not a blowout either way, I see him playing minimum 10. I don't see him taking out either of his sons out of the rotation. And really, they shouldn't be out of the rotation. He's going to play Young. I think Young deserves minutes. He's going to play Malco. He's playing Jourdain, certainly. And, Pierre would be the 11th guy. So I think it's definitely going to stay at 10. I don't see this becoming an 8-man rotation.
Definitely not. And I think we kind of knew that going into the season, just looking at it with the 5 starters that we all presumed would start, and the lack of, at this point, the lack of production you're getting from Brown, you got to play Malcolm, right? So they're both playing about 15 minutes per game, kind of doing a by-committee effort there to fill in that 5 spot. You got to play Jourdain because of what he brings, energy-wise, defensively, stretching the floor. You're going to play Ashton because of the shooting, and then he's playing Jaden as well. Jalen Young is that kind of spark plug off the bench defensively. Yeah. You've got, you've got those 10 guys that are, I think, going to be fixtures in the rotation for sure.
Okay, we're running short on time. What do they got to do next week, in your opinion? We were talking today about early prognostication for March. From Bleacher Report, they had Memphis as a 9 seed. That's what they're trying to avoid, to play in the 8-9 game. So Ole Miss, as you guys said, or you said specifically, they have to win that one and probably win it convincingly. VCU is not great. They should be able to beat them on the road. It's a roadie.
Tough environment there.
But then you got A&M. Florida Atlantic just whooped up on Texas A&M, scored 90-something points on them after losing to Bryant. That is a huge game for Memphis. Texas A&M still ranked 14th. That's what you have next week. What should they do in those 3 games? Should they go 3-0?
In these next 3, like so Ole Miss,
VCU, and Texas A&M.
You got to go at least 2-1. At least anything worse than 2-1 is going to be a dent, in your resume. It's not going to be good for you.
It'll be a dent, and here's the thing: if you beat Ole Miss and VCU and lose to Texas A&M, it really doesn't help you. That's not you're jumping up a seed because you beat VCU and Ole Miss. You're treading water, but you did win roadies.
Exactly,
there are road games, but. And then you turn around. Then you got the home games. You got Clemson, Virginia, Vanderbilt. So this is the stretch right now for Memphis, unless they go kerplunk in the conference tournament, where they can really establish themselves as a seed that should be higher than 8, higher than 7, probably in that 5-6 range.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's tough because if you don't build enough of a buffer, right? Like let's say you end this non-conference slate, and you're looking at like a 8 or 9 seed across the board. Bleacher Report, Bart Torvik, whatever. All these prognostications have you at 8 or 9. Well, you're not going to be able to do too much to get out of that because you've got really 2 opportunities throughout an 18-game conference slate to make any sort of difference, to move any sort of needle. So, if you're Memphis, you want to be kind of a fixture in the AP Top 25 going into January. You want to be projected to be a 5-6 seed because, that's – Penny said it. That's your season, from now until January 4th when they play Tulsa to open the conference slate. That's your season.
No, you're absolutely right. He is Parthu Pajai. He covers Memphis Tigers basketball and does it very, very well for the Daily Memphian. You can follow him on Twitter. I'll spell it out at PUPADHYAYA_. Parth, as always, thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Always fun.
If you've got a move coming up, you want to get the professionals to help you. You don't want to try and do it yourself and ask your friends to help you. Get the professionals to do it for you, and that's Black Tie Moving. All you got to do is give them a call, 901-316-6196, or you can go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis. Talk with the folks at Black Tie Moving. They work with you coming up with a plan. Most importantly, fitting your needs, and also most importantly, fitting your budget as well. And you do get a no-obligation quote up front from the folks at Black Tie Moving, so you know exactly what it's going to be throughout the process. You got a moving concierge available to you 24/7 to answer any questions that come up. You can rest assured that your stuff is getting where it's going without any problems, without any issues. It allows you to not have to worry and stress out nearly as much throughout the move. Black Tie Moving, 901-316-6196, or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis.
Tiger Woods speaks. Yes, we'll hear from Tiger Woods when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, folks. The Chevy Sheriff with good news for car and truck buyers. The Sunrise Chevy Ranch has new Chevy cars and trucks in stock, ready for immediate delivery. Factory rebates up to $1,000 and Sunrise discounts high as $4,000. Immediate financing available with interest rates low as 2.9. A $15 million used car inventory with cars and trucks for every budget, and a lot specializing in cars and trucks under $15,000. If you've been turned down by another dealer, see us at Sunrise. We specialize in financing, and Sunrise is the home of the guaranteed credit approval. Find new roads to the Sunrise Chevy Ranch, 385 in Houston, Levy, and Collierville.
Whether it's date night, a birthday, or just because, raise a steak in celebration at Ruth's Chris. Open in the Regalia Shopping Center at the corner of Poplar and Ridgeway. Treat yourself to one of our classic USDA prime beef steaks, seasoned and broiled to perfection. Then serve sizzling hot on one of Ruth's signature 500-degree plates. Visit Ruth'sChris.com to make a reservation. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, Memphis. This is how celebrating more is done.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Hi, this is Jonah Gamble, left guard from the University of Memphis football team. Is your credit card rewarding you for everyday purchases? Southern Security has a perfect low-interest reward card that will upgrade your wallet. Max rate is 18%, no annual fees, no cash advance fees. For more information, visit southernsecurity.org or by calling our member service team at 901-452-7900. Southern Security is a proud sponsor of the University of Memphis.
Let's end this year with a bang with Gossett Mitsubishi's Mitsubishi Motors year-end sales event. You want huge savings? We Gossett. The awards keep coming for the world's first and best-selling plug-in hybrid SUV, 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, 420 total range and PGE. We Gossett at $299.96 a month. Plus, 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, buy for $26,850 or $379 a month. Plus, IIHS top safety pick in seat 7, 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander, $32,185 or $399 a month. All equipped with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You want it, we Gossett. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett and Gossett Motor Cars.
PHEV PZ062,303, MSRP 44,355, 84 months, 500 military and conquest or loyalty rebate. Outlander RZ 006545, MSRP 33,185. Sport RU 001,004, MSRP 27,850. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Who's lightning?
Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Tiger Woods will be back on the course this week. He'll be playing in the Hero World Challenge in the Bahamas. And I don't know when the last appearance he made. Do you know off the top of your head? When was the last time he played?
The Masters.
So he didn't play again after the Masters. Wow. So Tiger Woods will be coming back to play. He said today in his press conference that he plans, if everything goes right, to play at least once a month. That would be great for everybody in the world of golf. He also said that he was extremely surprised when he heard about the merger between the PGA Tour, LIV, and the DP World Tour. I didn't get to read everything or hear everything he had to say about that, but obviously that's still something that hasn't been solidified as far as the merging of those three. But he said he was very surprised when he heard about that. But he will be back on the course this weekend.
We'll see how it goes.
You have doubts?
I have doubts.
So I would imagine you have doubts that he'll be playing as much as he says he will.
I don't believe there's any chance that he is playing that much.
Let's hope he does. I mean, it's great for golf. It's great for all sports as far as sports fans are concerned to have Tiger Woods in an event. College football, there have been a number of players. We talked about the Memphis news from yesterday. Tevin Carter, Davian Carter, both announcing they're heading into the transfer portal. There's been a bunch of quarterbacks around the country that have already announced that they're leaving their respective schools. Washington State quarterback Cameron Ward, according to a story, has received over 10 $1 million offers to transfer schools. The Washington State star finished number 4 in total passing yards in all of college football, will be one of the top returning quarterbacks in the sport. I'm not saying he's leaving Washington State, but according to this story, he has had all these offers, and according to the story, says it's confirmed that some of the schools that are interested are Miami, Ohio State, Texas A&M, Washington, and Auburn. Doesn't say that those are necessarily the ones that have offered the $1 million, but I guess you could add 2 and 2 and come up with 4.
They're going to be throwing money around. You know, Will Howard at Kansas State, Tyler Van Dyke from Miami, announcing they're going to go into the portal. Like there's going to be money being thrown around at these quarterbacks, especially from every angle. This is going to be just every year it's getting more and more because every year these schools are raising more and more money for the NIL funds. And now it is just start throwing out, basically offering your free agent contracts and seeing who you can lure.
Max Johnson's name has popped in there. Of course, he's been basically a backup in his career. And I think it was after the Egg Bowl, did anyone ask Jackson Dart any of the, I would imagine they talked to Jackson Dart. I didn't know Jackson Dart still had another year, but that he has a great chance to return to Ole Miss and make real good money, NIL money, because I'm not sure what his prospects are for the NFL.
Back. I mean, they expect him to be back.
Yeah, so obviously that's huge as well. But yeah, this is just the start. The floodgates have opened up as the transfer portal window officially begins on December 4th, officially.
Folks, Memphis has a lot of great beers, a lot of great local beers that are made right here in Memphis. And something new here in Memphis. This is a really cool thing. City Brew Tours Memphis. This is an opportunity for you to basically take a tour of some of those different breweries around town where you get to sample a lot of the beers. You get to learn a lot about their process of making beer. You get to sample a lot of those beers, which is a great thing. Along the way, you get food or snacks, depending on what kind of tour you take. You can get food or snacks along the way. And the good thing is they're driving you. They're taking care of it. City Brew Tours Memphis. This is great for just individuals to go out and maybe a couple, an outing to go enjoy some of this, or if you've got a special event coming up like a birthday or anniversary, bachelorette parties, any of these things, maybe a corporate trip of a group that you want to take out and do something special with. City Brew Tours Memphis. This is new here. It's been in other cities. Now it's here in Memphis where they'll take you from brewery to brewery, give you an opportunity to tour those breweries, sample beers at the different breweries. You can go to citybrewtours.com/Memphis. citybrewtours.com/Memphis is the website. You can get a lot of information there. You can buy tickets right there online for one of these trips and one of these events, one of these tours that you could take. Absolutely fantastic thing. I can't wait to try one of these because I love the local beers that we've got here in Memphis. We've got so many great breweries and looking forward to getting a chance to tour some of those breweries on City Brew Tours Memphis. Again, citybrewtours.com/Memphis is the website.
That's a great idea. I love that. By the way, as we close up shop, Rick Stockstill mentioned he was let go by MTSU yesterday, $5 million buyout. Ross Dellinger keeps up to date with all the buyouts of coaches, an updated 2024 buyout tracker, an estimated $124 million owed to the coaches from their contracts before being let go, which is $30 million more than the 2021 record of $94 million and counting. Big thanks to Connor O'Gara, Laird Veach, Zoe Goodson, and Parth Upadhyay for joining us on the program today. We're back bright and early tomorrow starting at 7 a.m. Among our guests, Memphis Tigers assistant basketball coach Andy Borman, Tigers baseball coach Matt Reiser, plus Jerry Palm and DeMichael Cole. And 5 favorite things, the topic, your 5 favorite NFL head coaches of all time. Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 is next. For Eli Savoy and Zach Boyd, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great day, everybody.